He's getting in.
Mike Vrabel was the coach whose team ended it.
He wrecked the
Talk
buffet.
about he wrecked the buffet.
By the way,
at Gillette, is that the coach?
It took
who
20
wrecked
years.
The buffet?
Someone was going to wreck the buffet.
Gillette? Well, everybody thought the buffet would not be wrecked. No,
exactly.
the buffet would just run out of food.
It ran out of food.
It would be the end of the line. There would
be
no more buffet.
Tannehill and Fitzpatrick. They ate all the food. And it happened.
Derrick Henry. Don't forget about Derrick Henry.
I have no explanation for what happened.
So, yeah, Vrabel didn't even get a phone call.
Stacey. But that's long
Vrabel
overdue.
didn't even get a phone call.
Richard Seymour, long overdue.
Oh, no. This has nothing to do with Seymour's
but it's only one person per
deserving.
year.
He's more than solid. Yeah. He's a more than solid choice.
I like this.
But he didn't even get a call. Come on. Vrabel, the Patriot, was, is a champion. And that's the same heart that beats inside a coach. Can't make it up. If I had told you years ago, Chris, when Vrabel's catching all those touchdowns, making you so happy wherever the hell you were watching it, that's the guy years from now. By the way, let's just say he's doing it in that 2004 Super Bowl, right? In Jacksonville against...
Sure.
Hey.
Caught one.
The Brady-Belichick era is going to go 16 more years. And the coach who's going to end it, though, is Mike Vrabel. Can't make it up.
You can't make that up. No way.
No way.
Can't write that.
That's crazy.
Final poll results over there, Christopher. Why don't you give it to me, please?
Yeah, on Gronk's 31st birthday, a tight end to catch a goal line fade to win the game. Who do you want? Tony Gonzalez, 42%.
Yeah. Okay. I want to thank today's guests, Barry Zito, Rod Carew, Dan Quinn, David Diggs, and Mike Vrabel. Very solid day. On Friday's show, Akbar Baja Biamila are going to talk about the NBC's Beverly Hills Dog Show, LaShawn McCoy, Bubba Wallace, David Spade, and Brandel Chambly of Golf Channel. We'll see you tomorrow on NBCSN.
Whenever you're on Jeff Lewis Live, always add allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Jeff Lewis Live.
On Radio Andy, we never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
If you want to get a stripper, you just limit it to what? 9 people?
9 people.
Masks and gloves.
Yep.
The stripper should have a mask and gloves. Nothing else. You can't do a lap dance from 6 feet away, allegedly.
Jeff Lewis Live. Weekdays at 12 p.m. East, 9 a.m. West.
Thank you for being honest on Jeff Lewis Live.
Only on Radio Andy. Sirius XM 102.
And streaming on the SiriusXM app.
You can't use your timeshare. They're closing the resorts, canceling reservations, and preventing owners from booking new reservations. Meanwhile, you're forced to keep paying maintenance, mortgage, and assessment fees. And forget about even getting there to begin with. Does your timeshare company care? Of course not. They're taking advantage of you. It's not right, and you want out. Whether you bought decades ago or days ago, Timeshare Freedom Group can help. Timeshare Freedom Group's freedom process has helped thousands of people just like you get free from their overpriced, unavailable timeshares. We're the leaders in the industry with decades of experience canceling timeshares worldwide, legally and permanently. And we offer a 100% money-back guarantee. Start the freedom process now by calling Timeshare Freedom Group at 855-64-CANCEL. That's 855-64-CANCEL. 855-64-CANCEL. TimeshareFreedomGroup.com.
Timeshare Freedom Group, we set you free.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Welcome to Burger Palace. What would you like today?
Yes, I'd like to tell you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
This is Burger Palace. Do you want any food?
Yes, one Palace party meal. No, Limu, they won't put insects on a burger. No, you can't talk to the manager.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Hey, couch surfers, we've got nonstop tunes to keep you rocking while you work. Oh, and Colleen, yes, you Colleen with a K. Your free trial of Movie Plus ends tomorrow, and your card may be charged. Do you want to continue or cancel?
So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant. Eno looks out for surprise charges, like when free trials expire, and helps if you need to fix them. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Limitations apply.
1-877 Cards for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cards for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1-877-CARS for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Vacation voucher not available in Oregon.
This is Solly from No Laying Up, and you can now hear episodes of the No Laying Up podcast every week on SiriusXM. Each episode features commentary and interviews with some of the biggest and most entertaining personalities in golf, from the top-ranked players in the world to course architects, broadcasters, and many more. Listen to the show every Monday, Thursday, and Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Dan Patrick Radio, Channel 211, or anytime on demand with the SiriusXM app by searching No Laying Up.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio. It is a final. Here is Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno.
And welcome, children's, adults, all ships at sea. You have now entered, not the Twilight Zone, it is the official 3-hour getaway from all insanity in the world today, Harry. Harry Mays, you sit around thinking like 5 to 15 minutes a day that we're still stuck in this pandemic and then realize that you have that suffocating feeling coming over you?
No.
Me neither. Seeing that kind of stuff on Twitter today, and I still shake my head. We all know what's going on, unless we just fell off the face of the earth and maybe we're on Mars and just came back with a rover, or that piece of Chinese space junk that nearly missed New York. Did you see that story yesterday?
No, I thought an asteroid was coming.
That is. That's not. That's yeah. We're waiting for Dr. Fauci to give us the estimated time of arrival for that one.
Okay.
But the bottom line is there was a piece of space junk, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's
up
floating
there.
around up there.
And apparently one came really close to hitting New York. How ironic would that be? And trust me, I'm not one of those people who roots for people to die that I don't like or disagree with, all right?
Wait a minute. I think I saw that on a movie plot once.
No, I'm telling you, look it up. I don't make stories up here. This isn't fake news. This is Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, Miss Robin on a thirsty Throwback Thursday. And yesterday we told you about the Pennsylvania liquor control system opening up 232 stores. But guess what? Somebody must have read our Governor Tom Wolf, the Riot Act, because today, 133 more stores.
No.
Yes, I couldn't find the list of where they were.
Well, I will look it up.
Another 133 stores as we are finally starting to shed the shackles from being able to go out and determine what's essential. Booze is essential, it seems, at every state except Pennsylvania.
Tony, I think it's very clear that people are listening to this show.
No doubt about it.
I mean, there's
I got the golf courses to open up.
Exactly.
There you go.
Between petitions and yelling and screaming on Twitter, social media, and this radio show.
And by the way, it's not my style to brag. But I notice now on all of these show prep sites and all of these experts who sit around and write about things going on, that stories we did a week ago. Remember when we did the whole story about Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield each individually working out? Yes. And I suggested, would there be a Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield 3 for charity?
Right.
That was like last Wednesday or something.
We talked about it. We were the first show to actually start talking about that combination. We even brought Damon Feldman on to talk about it. And now it looks like it's going to happen. You know why it's going to happen? Because it makes too much sense, and they're going to give money to charity, and people will pay to watch it.
Hey, listen, I watched some of that video that Tyson put out.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I was black and blue after just watching it. Dude, I mean, he doesn't have probably the stamina to go many rounds,
well,
but I don't think this would go many rounds. I just want to see I just want to see him knock the crap out of somebody.
But you know what? I agree with you about he's not going to go that fast at his age for a long, but he doesn't have to.
No.
And they're not going to go out there and try to knock each other out in one round, I don't think.
Maybe.
I mean, you may be right. The bottom line is, you know what?
people will pay for that on pay-per-view to watch it, right?
I think
Whether
so.
it goes to charity, if they're not fighting for belts anymore, they're not fighting for championships, and they're both incredible athletes. And I just drove by it through Easton and drove on Larry Holmes Drive over the weekend. I said to Robin as we were pulling into Easton, Pennsylvania, and the beautiful big tree in the middle of the town. It's a cute little town.
It is. Really That's where my radio career started.
In Easton, Pennsylvania?
That's where the studio was located, yeah.
And we drove by there. Robin says, wow, this is cool. I've never been in Easton. And then I looked for signs of Larry Holmes, and that's where he's from. And there's a Larry Holmes Street.
Oh, yeah, he owns that town.
I was looking for the...
yeah, where was the Lisa Ann Boulevard?
I couldn't find Lisa Ann Boulevard. How can Larry Holmes have his own street in Easton, but Lisa Ann doesn't have... Maybe there is. Maybe there's a statue or something. But anyway, so Larry Holmes, Easton, Pennsylvania, one of the greats up there. That's a story that's developing. Of course, a lot of bitching and pitching and not pitching in baseball. We're going to talk about that, Harry. And now people are taking sides. And it's usually the players, because the owners want it to open up. You know, they know they're not going to make any money if no players come in.
Right.
And so they've already, and the Players Association is crying because they're mad that the owners basically put out all of their proposals, laid it all out, the percentages and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so now the Players Association, I understand, they're the players. People don't go to see owners sitting in boxes.
Right.
They go to see the players play the game.
But what the owners did is they said, hey, this is what we're willing to do. Now it's in your court.
Exactly.
And they'll say no, and then all the fans who want baseball back will be pissed off at the players.
You're absolutely right, Harry. Yeah. And that's what the owners know. They know that the players will be blamed for looking like greedy schmucks. Mm-hmm. And I get it. They're going to lose more money. But guys like Blake Snell, because we see Trevor Bauer's been outspoken. Trevor Bauer, is a veteran player. He's been outspoken, and he doesn't like the fact that, that they had a deal with the owners, and now the owners are trying to change the deal in play, and all the other things. And then you got Adam Jones, who's no longer playing. He says, it's time for the big guys to speak the F up. That was his quote.
The big guys meaning like the Mike Trouts of the league, like the big players?
That's what it means. Those are the big guys. I mean, Blake Snell's a nice young pitcher.
Yeah.
But for a guy like Blake Snell, again, he has his right. He's going out there to pitch.
Hey, don't pitch if you don't want to play.
He says, I won't play. It's not worth it. Blake Bra.
Yeah.
Blake Bra.
Snell Bra.
Snell Bra. Any relation to Silk Bra?
I don't think so.
Silk Bra's from SoCal.
Silk Bra would play.
Silk Bra would play.
Yeah.
I saw him playing in a pool last week. He posted it on his Twitch stream and Twitter. But here's the interesting thing. Again, Blake Snell could do what he wants. He's an adult. If he doesn't want to play because he's not going to make his $7 million because the season's going to be cut in half,
right.
And therefore he can't live on $3 million.
Well, he's got to pay taxes too, Tony.
No, he works in Florida.
I know, but they federal taxes.
Yeah, but imagine if he played in California or Pennsylvania or some of these other repressive tax states.
Forget it.
The guy's already getting a break. He plays in Florida, in Tampa, where nobody goes to the games anyway.
I know.
I'm sorry, but
you can socially distance at a Rays game, no problem.
Exactly.
Right?
Not only fair. How about this?
And they're good.
That's I figured this out during the show, and I didn't even need a calculator, Harry. Where does the pitcher stand on the mound? How far is the pitcher from the catcher from home plate?
60 feet 6 inches, I believe.
So he is 10 times more socially distanced than the laws allow.
Right.
Even Governor Newsom in California and all these people obsessed with 6 feet. This guy is 10 times farther away than he's supposed to be as required by law.
I know. And he says, quote, bro, I'm risking my life.
Did he drop a bro in there?
He did. He dropped a bro. I'm reading this off of ESPN.com.
Did he any bras in there?
No, not bra.
Dude, he is he's a Washington State guy.
Right, yeah,
Up
Seattle
there in the
guy.
Pacific Northwest, bro.
Yeah.
Did he mention any Nirvana songs? Did he bring up any grunge?
He did not, but I think
was he drinking Starbucks or was he drinking what's the other big coffee up Seattle's Best?
Oh, I think it was the Seattle's Best, and he had a flannel shirt on, and it was open, and there was a T-shirt on underneath it that I think
Nirvana.
said Nirvana.
Exactly, man. Brah. Dude.
I'm sorry, but this is it just from a regular person's standpoint. Hearing that
I know.
is infuriating.
But see, that's what the owners did now, because then we get this, and then people like you get infuriated.
I'm not infuriated.
No,
I'm saying
I
to
mean,
Robin.
I'm thinking of all the people
How
that
about the
are
people-
working right now, and they are working on to reduce pay.
And really risking their lives.
Yes.
Wait a minute. How about the people that were working in the actual stadium where he pitches who will not have jobs to go out there and serve people and make extra money, not big money, selling peanuts and popcorn and Cracker Jacks and hot dogs and overpriced beers? He's going to be pitching, making $3 million a year in an empty stadium.
Sorry. $3 million. What are you going to do?
So I'm telling you right now, and again, I understand the players are the game. As I said at the beginning, nobody goes to a game, except Cowboys games, to see Jerry sitting in the box. Nobody goes to a baseball game and says, oh, look, there's the owner there. There's so-and-so.
And this guy only works every fifth day.
Exactly.
He doesn't even play every game.
It's an outrage. Now, you want to talk about a guy who basically has just – I mean, if you have a Blake Snell Tampa Bay Rays rookie card, you're probably ripping that up or burning it today. I want to hear from my Rays fans down there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a Tampa Bay Rays fan. Even Dick Vitale is a season ticket holder.
I think he's outraged by this.
I can't imagine anybody. Again, I don't want to pick on a young player, but the problem is you're not going to win anybody over by making – especially when you go bro on him. Yeah, he should have gone broad.
He should have just not said anything.
Just keep
he has a right to say it.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying he went into so much detail that he kept burying himself. You know, just say I'm scared. I don't feel comfortable.
I don't feel comfortable. Boom.
That's it.
You don't have to say that you're taking a pay cut from $6 million to
seven.
Get your facts straight here, Robin.
Get some facts
and come back and see me.
You know, it's there is a huge difference.
We don't even need the machine.
No, you guys can just do it in stereo.
We do live drops on this show. We don't do recreations of previously recorded drops and sound effects.
For all of you people that are making over $1 million a year, let me tell you something. There is a huge difference between taking a 50% pay cut from anything over $1 million to people that are taking a 50% pay cut or more that are making less than $100,000.
Wait a minute, we have comments from Greta Thunberg, who will be on the CNN town hall tonight on coronavirus, on whether or not Blake Snell should play and if it's worth it for half of his pay. This is what she said.
50% may be acceptable to you.
But it's not for her or Blake Snell.
Wait,
did she get cut off?
Yes, she did.
She was like Forrest Gump in the middle of the speech down by the.
Wasn't there an extra?
She also said to Blake Snell,
pool.
We will never forgive you.
Exactly. And
you are failing us.
Exactly. But most importantly,
how dare you?
I love that. I can't get enough of that.
How dare you?
That is a preview of tonight's town hall on the coronavirus.
I have a feeling we're going to hear that again tonight.
With noted climatologist Greta Thunberg.
How dare you? I can get that breathy sound.
I would go see her speak.
How dare you?
Would you go?
Yeah, I would.
She was doing like an acoustic set.
Right.
At the TLA in Philadelphia here one night, opening up for, some obscure band that comes to town.
Joe C.
Joe, who would be coming to the TLA and have Greta Thunberg open up for her?
Iron and Wine?
Iron and wine. There you go.
I'll take the wine. You can keep the iron part. You know what I mean? So anyway, enough about that. We got a lot of baseball talk. We got NBA action. We got weekend sports getting closer. The UFC had its second card last night. It went off, and they're going to have another one on Saturday night. And so we'll talk about sports in two states that really want sports going, Harry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Florida and Arizona. Two states that, whether we mock them or not, especially Florida, the weather's nice.
Yep.
They're open for business. Arizona says the same thing. Come on out here. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
We got lots of stadiums.
Exactly right. Hey,
nobody's here anyway.
You want to lock it down in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, California?
Yep.
Come on down.
I'm waiting for DeSantis to invite this radio show down there and just say, I got a studio for you.
I'm ready to go.
Let's contact him.
Governor Ron, you're on, bro. It's got to be near a golf course that Harry can get on, though. That's the important
I can get on plenty down there.
We're just getting started. Pat McAfee is going to join us next. We got a lot of things to talk about with my man, Pat McAfee. We're just getting started. It's Tony. It's Harry. It's Thirsty Throwback Thursday, yo.
Greta, would you?
No.
Oh, my God.
No, that's just creepy.
I mean, how old is she? How old is she?
I don't know.
Like 14?
No, she's like 16 or 17. Yeah.
She looks like she's 12. And then she sounds like she's 60.
Dude.
That's not a great combination. Looking
No.
like you're 12,
She
sounding like
sounds
you're
like
60.
She could be like the Prime Minister of England or something.
Yeah.
Where's she from? Is she from Australia? Or
No,
New
she's
Zealand
from Denmark.
Mars, I think.
Oh, she's Denmark?
I think
Okay.
she's Danish or something like that.
Oh.
No clue.
Yes.
No, Radiohead would
She's
not
a
be
Karen.
appearing at TLA.
No.
Too small of a venue.
She's definitely a Karen.
Sirius XM stock just dropped. Good job, Robin. Outrageous. What is that?
What?
I don't know.
How did I cause that? What did I do?
I don't know. How dare you? I thought that cut was longer than that.
Oh, she's from Norway.
50% may be acceptable to you.
Yeah, it sounds like there's
Yeah, it
more.
sounds
Well, there
like
is, but we tried to cut these up shorter so we can.
Oh, well, that was because you actually had a back and forth conversation with her. And
That's
you had
right. I
those
did one of those fake interviews.
Oh.
Hey, 50% is not good enough. It's not acceptable to Blake Snell. Welcome to all the kids on the Twitch stream. Is she from Sweden or Norway?
Norway, I think.
Norway or Sweden, Robin?
I don't know. I'll have to look at that. I can finally get to something that S. Falcon is bugging the F out of me for.
What? The RoboCop
He would
statue?
like me to remind everybody that the Sirius XM app is available for free
Right
until
through the end of the
May
month, baby.
31st. So
Where
when
did
we
you
come-
see the story about more liquor stores?
It was on, I think, KYW. You know, they send a feed of their top stories.
KYW, oh.
News Radio. I get their feed every day, and it says that the governor has announced, I think it's another 132 stores. But in there's no link to click where the stores are.
S. Falcon, I would like to point something out for you. During the regular show, people are listening to it on the Sirius app, so they know that it's been extended through the 31st because they're obviously
They already
on the
have
app.
it. Yes.
And the people that are on Twitch, we can remind them here. And we're also reminding everybody on social media through the written word. So they're getting it, S. Falcon.
Oh,
they're getting it.
I have an emu update.
Oh.
The one that was
from
on
yesterday.
422?
Oh, I hope it's a good
Yes.
one. Is it a good one, please?
It's awesome.
Did they catch it? Did they lasso it? I don't know. Don't give it away, Harry. I want to save the suspense.
Okay, now I'm worried.
Matt in Livermore says, why the hell is Snell worried about social distancing? I've been to funerals that drew bigger crowds than the Rays. Oh!
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, they're a good team.
I know they're a good team.
You've got good players.
And he's a good young pitcher.
Yeah.
But playing it's not worth it to make $3.5 million.
I know,
Lee
man.
in Seattle.
I'd
hey,
love to have that problem.
This just in from calculus. 50% is better than 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even I can figure that out.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it. He's getting paid no matter what, right?
No, he's not. I don't know. I guess, most baseball contracts are guaranteed. So if he doesn't play, I think they get 4% of their contracts if they don't play a second.
4.
So what's 4% of $7 million?
10% is
Josie, you're the good math guy.
But I think it's the 4% only if they don't play
at all.
But not for a pandemic reason like that. Is that calculated in? If it's not up to them that they're not playing.
I don't think they have pandemic
280,000.
I bet you they do.
There's no pandemic clause in baseball contracts, Robin.
I'm just saying that I have a sneaky suspicion that if they were making 0 or only 4%, there would be a lot more motivation to come back. There is no motivation for them to come back if they're still making whatever it is they're making.
I read earlier, and I may be wrong, but I doubt it, that if they don't play one single game, they get 4% of their salary guarantee.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
Tony and Harry just trying to make dollars and cents on what's going on here. And I'm getting all kinds of hand signals here.
Yes. Pat McAfee scheduled to appear on the program.
And he is not appearing? Is that what I'm hearing? What happened?
I called him and talked to his assistant. I was actually in the middle of getting the program back on the air, but something came up, so he can't do it right now. So looks like we have a full show for today, so we'll have to contact him and find out exactly if we can get him on maybe tomorrow.
This is the second consecutive day. This is a trend now. Yesterday, Chris Therien, who forgot what time he was supposed to be on, but at least he knew he was going to be on.
I wish he would have texted me rather than doing it. But anyway, he said there are unexpected business to call. He may be done within the next 10 minutes.
So there's still a chance he could be on this hour?
Yes.
Possible.
All right, I just need an update here.
All right.
Because I'm just sitting here waiting. I got all these people working, and I saw Joe C. was giving, no, it was Joe Krause was giving me the safe signal. That normally it should be out, not safe.
No,
or one of these.
We can do a throat slash in this.
Yeah, we won't be
fined. The
fined.
throat slash means cut it out, stop.
And then the safe signal means he's there.
Right.
When you get a safe.
Right.
The umpire, that means you're safe. So I'm thinking, okay, it's safe. He's there. Is it safe? It wasn't safe. Is he out? He's out. Then I got the out signal. And I felt like I was at a baseball game, ready to go out, jump out onto the field, take my hat, turn it around backwards, and start kicking dirt on Joe Krause, wanting to know what the actual call was, Harry. That's all we want, right?
We got to go to replay. I think we got to go to replay.
Yeah, we can't do the throat slash.
Oh, we can't?
No,
not even here?
No, in the NFL, you get fined for that.
We're not in the NFL.
We must have some sort of rules here that would punish us, Harry.
We do?
Because we must be punished.
I use the throat slash all the time.
I love the throat slash.
Cut him off.
Like when you make like a 35-foot putt.
Yeah.
And you got like a $2 Nassau.
And you're in your match. And you look at the other guy.
Do you give him the throat slash?
I will on Saturday.
See, I don't know anymore, Harry. That happens here in Pennsylvania on a golf course. One of the ambassadors will be out there.
Is that right?
They'll
have a drone flying overhead.
They'll haul your ass right off the green, lock you down into the cart, and then take you to a prison somewhere in central Pennsylvania.
Take me to No Vodka Island.
Exactly.
Is that where they're taking me? I have an emu update, though, while we're waiting.
We have not the emu, but yesterday we had a story that there was an emu loose on State Road 422 here in the Philadelphia suburbs.
Right.
And there was video of this emu. It was in the mid. Now, this is a road where there's a grass barrier between the northbound or eastbound and westbound lanes. And the grass barrier on this one has like a little, not a berm, which is a raised part. It goes down into like a little gully.
Right.
I guess for rain and stuff so it could drain.
Yes.
So the emu, the last time we saw him, he was loose.
Yes.
And then Harry Mays has the thrilling conclusion. Hopefully it's a happy ending, Harry, because we love happy endings on the show.
Well,
we do.
As you were saying, Tony, many were doing double takes while driving by on Route 422 between Royersford and Saratoga yesterday.
Not Saratoga. That's up in New York where they're racing.
Watching the escaped emu run around the median, causing many backups in both directions. Police said the large bird's owner reportedly lost control of it shortly after buying it.
Oh, so
wait! Is there an emu store in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania? You
can't
buy liquor,
get booze, but you can get an emu.
You can go into emus right now. Come on, we got emus right in here.
And for those of you who do not know, emus can sprint up to 31 miles per hour.
Yeah, they can move.
Yeah, they can move.
Maybe
not
you guys
as fast
trying
as
to start
ostrich.
an illegal emu racing business here. You know how they have dog tracks and dog fights? Maybe somebody's trying to get some gambling
we'll
action.
bet on anything right now.
Not dogs, all right. We don't encourage dog fighting or dog racing.
The bird was creating a traffic hazard, and attempts to capture it failed, a statement from the Pennsylvania State Police said. So
did we send our health commissioner out there to track that thing down? I bet you she could have caught it.
I doubt it. Taser deployments to gain control of the animal were unsuccessful, and the animal was shot and killed.
No!
Yes.
Oh, no!
I thought you said there was a happy ending.
Down goes the emu.
This is what the emu screamed, his last words to the Pennsylvania State Police.
Do anything! Don't tase me, bro! Don't tase me! I didn't do anything!
There it is,
Yes.
the last words of the emu who was just trying to go home to his new home as the person somehow got into a pet store or an emu store, but can't get into the liquor store, so settled for an emu instead. He actually went to the liquor store, which was in a strip mall.
Right.
And the liquor store was closed, but right next door, Emus Are Us happened to be open.
Half price.
And he just walked in there and bought one and stuck it in his car. How the hell did it get out of a car?
I have no idea.
Why would you put an emu in a car to begin with?
I need more information.
Yes, come on, Harry. Where's the rest of the story?
I'm reading this off of KYW's news radio's
That's the
website.
news center on your radio dial where the former Harry Donahue, who was there forever, Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Yes.
Wonder if Harry Mays would not have. I mean, Harry Donahue would not have left out important details like, was the emu put in a car?
Well,
was it in a taxi with Doug from Lemu, Liberty Mutual Insurance?
There's an emu in a car. What did it look kind of like this?
I don't know, man.
Did he have glasses on?
Wow.
Yeah, so they tried to tase the animal, and it was unsuccessful.
Don't they have emu wranglers out there? I mean, there's some country out there. That's not exactly like a striving metropolitan area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of farmland.
Didn't they have anybody with a horse and a lasso? Come on, where's a cowboy when you need one?
For the protection of officers and the community, the emu was shot and did not survive.
Did he empty the clip into the emu? I mean, did he get him with one shot?
I don't know.
Wow.
That's
kind of sad, Harry.
He'd Gardino as CG muted.
Yes.
He was muted. That's not funny, even though I'm laughing.
That's sad. I'm actually getting emotional now.
You are?
Yeah. Poor, the emu, somebody's raising emus and then selling them as pets.
Yeah.
And this
well, we need a new documentary, Emu King.
Emu King. I saw an emu, an emu saw a man.
We should not be laughing.
What would it's funny. What would the Emu King look like?
Wow.
Would he look like the Tiger King?
No.
No.
I think the Emu King would be sort
He'd
of
have to have a really
long
big
and lanky.
nose, yeah. Skinny
long
dude.
and lanky.
No, a guy with a skinny neck but a big fat bottom.
And frizzy
and skinny
hair.
legs.
Sounds attractive.
But he can run like the wind.
Why wouldn't they use a tranquilizer? Why did they have to gun him down? Where's the justice?
Yeah, Play Action Real saying I'm withholding information. I must have gone to the same journalism school as McMullen.
No, Joe. John's a journalist, Harry.
I'm reading everything that's here.
Why didn't they tranquilize it? Why do they have to shoot it dead?
That's a good point.
What happens if the bullet misses and hits somebody's car?
I think, does only animal control people have those tranquilizers? I don't know that state police drive around
But I'm
with
saying,
that.
why wouldn't you call animal rescue?
Well, maybe time was of the essence, Tony. People's lives may have been in danger.
What's the emu going to do? Wow. I'm upset. I don't know if I can continue with the rest of the program.
Is today over?
I don't like to see. I'm thinking it's going to be a happy ending. The emu ran into the guy's arms, and then the state came in and said, you got a social distance from the emu. We don't want that emu getting sick. Forget about the emu getting sick. They killed that sumbitch.
Maybe the emu's in a better place. Maybe, seriously, maybe this new owner really wasn't. Maybe he was an abusive owner.
Wow.
You don't know that. He might have been abusing the emu on the ride home, and the emu shot out the window.
I got breaking news. The emu had dirt on Hillary Clinton now, according to sources deep within our Twitch community. And we trust everything they say here.
Right.
These are all duly authorized, legitimate journalists who would never post stupid stuff on Twitch or Twitter that somebody can misconstrue as fake news. You remember what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sad now.
I am sad. Is that all it says? There's no more details?
I'll send you the story. The headline is State Troopers Shot, Killed Runaway Emu That was loose on Route 422.
I demand answers from Governor Wolf.
Don't state troopers carry around tranquilizer
I don't
guns
know.
as well as regular
But they had
guns
tasers,
just in
though.
case?
How can the taser?
They tried to tase it.
I guess it was running too fast.
And he said, and you know
Unsuccessful.
what the emu said when he got out the taser?
What?
I didn't do anything. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me.
We already played that, Robin. I know I never get tired of hearing that, Harry. That's one of those drops
Yeah.
I never get tired of hearing. I'm sorry. Now, he's not, there's a meat shortage.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they took that baby back and made some baby back emu fillets or ribs.
Can you? Do people eat?
Of course
emu?
they do. They eat
Yeah.
everything.
Really? I'm
Ostrich
saying in this country, not
Yes.
over there.
Yes.
Okay.
Not over there.
Over where?
You know where? China.
Oh, you mean the place where
Yeah.
Well, that's not where emus
where
are
Brian
from.
Adams was
Right.
talking about the other day
Yes.
before he had to apologize?
That would be Australia and New Zealand. Emu meat is very healthy for you. It's like ostrich meat.
Oh,
They're
really?
Is
like-
it good?
yeah,
Does
they're
it taste
steaks.
like chicken, though? That's what
no,
I want to know.
it's a red meat.
The other red meat?
It doesn't taste like chicken.
How do
It
you know?
tastes
Have you
more like
had
chicken.
emu, Robin?
Yes. And
You've
had
had
ostrich.
emu?
Yeah, I'm not
Wait,
eating.
wait, this is breaking news.
I'm not eating.
Is it keto friendly?
Absolutely.
I'm
it's
sure it
great.
is.
It's fantastic for
Says
you.
it tastes a lot like beef, even though it's a bird.
Yep.
But
That's what I
unlike
said.
beef, emu has a low fat content similar to chicken. Tastes just like
Say,
chicken.
well, I mean,
No.
everything tastes like
Yeah.
chicken
It's
eventually.
healthy for you like chicken, but it tastes like steak, and it's a red meat. It's awesome.
Wow.
And ostrich steaks are the same.
Well, then maybe they did shoot it to, for a
It's
couple
a-
of steaks.
What, not enough dead deer on the road every night when you're driving by and somebody
So
hits
the
a dead
state
deer comes
troopers
out?
are grilling up a nice
I don't
piece
know.
of bird
Dude.
now.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't think this would have such an effect on you. It
It-
definitely doesn't on me.
No, I love animals. I don't like to see animals killed unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Emu,
But for a
skinny
nice
on top.
barbecue, it's fine.
yeah.
Emu, skinny on top, thick on the bottom. AKA a Pornhub channel, I think. There's a. So now, what's the latest with the Pat McAfee? Is it officially? Have we called off the jam as they used to do in roller derby back
Let's
in
see,
the
we're
days?
at 3:30 right now.
Eastern time, Robin, and stop giving the time.
Well, I know. I'm just half past the hour.
Can we call Liberty Mutual the insurance guy and see, since the emu is primarily properly featured, what the score? What do you have an insurance policy on your emu?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you insure an emu?
And can we find out where the pet store is? Maybe we can call the pet store, find out what the going price is for an emu right now. I got room in the backyard.
Yeah.
Or we can send him down to the Philly Godfather over in Jersey.
Yeah, I think
he's got llamas.
His place would be better for
He's
this.
got llamas. Do emus and llamas get along, though? That's a question. I'm looking for a
compatible farm, like a compatible
I'm looking to
stable.
get some places. Ridiculous, man. No, you cannot get emu at the Wuhan wet market. I don't think. But then again, I haven't been there, so I don't know. Can you get Brian Adams on the phone to find out if they have emu meat at the Wuhan wet market in China? Or as Harry would say it,
China.
I looked into
China.
how to purchase emu, and it's
Yeah.
only showing me emu meat. See, look how nice and red those look.
All right, here's one. A blonde and white emu. Location in Pennsylvania. They don't get specific here.
There's blonde emus?
$600 for the blonde emu, $800 for the white emu. These guys are fun birds. They're friendly sometimes. They get a little skittish like emus do. I'm pretty sure they're both males. I'm pretty sure.
So this is somebody selling
an emu, yeah.
on Craigslist?
No, it's not Craigslist.
Is it in casual encounters, or what kind of encounters do you have to find?
Wait. I have an update. I went online. So at farms.com.
Not farmersonly.com. That's where I go when I get a farmer's daughter craving.
All of the people that go on Farmers Only apparently go on to farms.com, where you can purchase. You could have your son get an emu, because there are emu chicks for sale for only $141.
I should buy some for my son AJ. He's got 15
Yes.
chickens. He
Wow.
can make an emu pen.
There you go.
But I'm not going to eat an emu, though. I could never kill and eat an
Those would make some nice eggs, though.
emu eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently this one I'm looking at is they're both males, so obviously no.
Well, that
eggs
one's in
there.
Milwaukee, isn't it?
There's different places you can.
You know, the
purchase-
bars opened up in Wisconsin. Did you see that, Harry?
I did.
Were the emus getting loose in Milwaukee too?
Maybe.
Here's,
wow.
Let's see, Milwaukee, Oregon, or New York.
No Pennsylvania emus? That could be an illegal emu, Harry. We may have another controversy here for our governor and our state health commissioner to deal with. What are the repercussions?
They've got enough going on. They need
as
to
long as they
focus.
don't put, well, they put it down. But if they had captured it, would they have put it in a nursing home, or would they have sent it to a hotel, like the Pennsylvania health commissioner's mom had the luxury of going into a hotel room, Harry?
We have Pennsylvania emu action, yo. York, PA.
$212
for a baby chick.
They do look kind
for
of
a
cute.
tame emu chick.
I prefer the wild chicks myself, Harry. I don't want any tame chicks in this house.
Emu's gone wild.
All right.
All right.
I think we're giving up on Pat today. We'll have to reschedule.
I feel like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom now. Remember that show?
Yes.
Who was the guy? The guy who ran that show.
I forget. He had white hair.
Yes. And he died a couple of years ago.
I'm sure.
The guy from Mutual of Omaha.
He actually looked pretty old when I was a kid when he did those shows on the weekends.
Yes. Billie Eilish is kind of emu.
Billie Eilish.
No. Is it Eilish?
It's Eilish.
Well, she did spend the...
Richard Marlon Perkins?
That's right.
Perkins.
Marlon Perkins. Don't call him Richard.
No.
Okay.
Marlon Perkins was the host of Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom from 1963 to 1985, Harry. Beautiful, man. That's good knowledge. You're not getting this on any other sports show.
No,
I'll tell you that right now. So... we got other stuff to talk about here, Ted, because we mentioned Florida and Arizona. Those are the two states right now that most of the people out there are criticizing because how dare they open up their states and allow people to go out. So if you're part of that crowd, then you don't really care. But if you want, you've already seen 2 events now in Florida, the UFC events, another one Saturday. In fact, we got the governor of Florida. What's the dude's name down there? Ron
DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He was a former congressman who then ran for governor and became the governor. And so he's got action down there. He's got action. And he says, hey, come on down. It's Florida, baby. We need your team. You want to come here, your soccer, whoever you are.
Or your NFL team, like in California. I mean, what do they got? They got the Niners, they got the Rams, and they got the Chargers, right? The Raiders are in Las Vegas.
Right.
Las Vegas might want this, too, a piece of this action.
Absolutely. But Las Vegas isn't opened up yet.
No, I know.
Their governor has kept it shut down.
They will.
No, you would think.
Yeah.
But Florida and
by football season, they'll be
Arizona, they already have guys out playing basketball in gyms.
Right, and DeSantis' thing was, hey, you could play at Florida State's got a big stadium. You know, University of Florida's got a big stadium. You know, even Central Florida's got a stadium. Heck, you're not going to be able to fill it anyway. It's going to be limited capacity at all.
No, we're just talking about, he's even talking about Governor DeSantis. He's saying, even with no fans.
Right.
You don't want to put fans in? We still want to be safe, but we have facilities, and people are outside. Let's go. Let's play one of the cuts from Governor Ron DeSantis. As I've been talking about him, Robin, so I said we have tape.
Whoops.
Do we have him? Ladies and gentlemen, all of you nasty people out there are about to bury Pat McAfee, but I knew he would come through. I knew there was something up. I knew he wouldn't pull one of those lame excuses. You know, like when he was supposed to go out for punting practice, and he didn't show up on the field, and everybody's waiting for him when he was with the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
The great Pat McAfee, an award-winning sports reporter, former punter, maybe the greatest punter in NFL history. Pat McAfee joins us now from Indianapolis. Hello.
Tony, hey, I'm so sorry I'm late. I got caught up on a call. As an entrepreneur yourself, you can know how that happens. I was bummed in the middle of the conversation that I missed our start time. Happy we could do this. And by the way, there was never a moment of practice where they were waiting for the punter. That is why I am potentially the greatest punter in history.
Well, I just wanted to make that perfectly clear because you're always out there. Because, you know, sometimes the kicking guy's not out there, the holder's not out there, and you're trying to run a practice, right?
No, that is such a small, limited amount of times for that to happen because, you know, back in the day, Tony, and I understand you've been in the sports world for a long time, when the Grammaticas would tear their ACLs when they would celebrate, and when other kickers would do things of that nature, it got a real bad likeness for the kickers and punters of this world. I'm trying to change that for the brand. So we're never late. We're always on time, except for in this particular standpoint. And I feel terrible because I am a Tony Bruno Award winner, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever got in my life.
And it's on your – in fact, if you watch Pat McAfee's show every morning, you see the Tony Bruno Award on his desk prominently displayed there. And I appreciate you keeping it. I thought you'd put it up there for a couple of days and then throw it in a closet somewhere.
No, I'd never win anything. So the fact that I won an award, I mean, that's a big deal. And it's no half-assed award either. I mean, it's a beautiful trophy. You guys did a great job because Tony Bruno's at that high standard where he only expects good stuff.
Exactly right. Now, Harry Mays is here, and we were just talking about emus on the loose in Pennsylvania where they had to shoot it dead on the road. That's what we're talking about today because it's a big story here in Pennsylvania. But we're talking to the nation, Pat McAfee, and you do the same thing each and every day. But Harry has a question right now. Harry?
Well, he brought up the grammaticas, right? And it made me think of all this kickers. And I used to always say that there's a group of kickers, all the grammaticas, and, everybody else is living at this big Red Roof Inn outside the DFW airport just waiting to get the call. And they jump on a plane and they go to the tour. You know what I mean? It's like because everybody's trading kickers.
And
like
don't forget the Zendejas brothers, too.
Right. You don't know all the names.
Well, there is like a kicking carousel that happens. And I don't know if this is what you were referring to with the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah.
But normally, if you see a kicker not do well, there'll be like 5 to 6 guys who come in and work out.
Right.
And whoever has the best day, they get the job. And the kicker that was just cut, he joins the other 5 to 6 guys that go back home, kick balls, and wait for somebody else to get hurt. It's always the same names. And then you kind of go on these workouts, and you just hope you get hot at a place. Graham Gano was at like 2 teams before he got hot for the Panthers. Then he got hurt and cold, and he's gone. He'll get back into that thing. It's just very common for kickers to kind of bounce around until they get hot and find a home forever, and then they make a lot of money, or it ends with death threats from a miss.
It was typically on a Tuesday. Didn't they work out? Did they work the kickers out on Tuesdays?
Yeah, Tuesday is normally the off days for most NFL teams, so that's when all the workouts happen. Not just kickers, but I think all workouts happen because the coach's attention could be there instead of with the players.
Pat McAfee, of course, who reigned supreme in Naptown. After, first there was Bob and Tom. Now there's Pat McAfee ruling the airwaves in and around the greater Naptown, Indianapolis metroplex.
Yeah, I was lucky that the Bob and Tom folks welcomed me in. I think I told you this, Tony, whenever I was out there for the illustrious award in New York City. Great suit, by the way, by you.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you looked incredible there. The voice, obviously, very recognizable, but the suit, the look, the lady, I mean, you crushed it over there.
Well, thank you. I have a tailor, but I've been slumming it in my wine cellar here doing these shows for the last couple of months. I haven't shaved. I mean, I look like, I don't know if you saw Adnan Burke. We had him on the show. He's been down there in his basement. Seriously, I said, don't go to an airport, bro. They will haul you in.
Tony, can't say that. But, all right, COVID-19 quarantine has definitely got the best of a lot of people. I was very lucky, though, to have Bob and Tom in Indianapolis. They're syndicated. They were syndicated at one point on 170 stations. I don't know how many they're at now, but they were in Indianapolis Comedy Morning Show, and Jeff Saturday would go in there on Tuesday mornings for the local half hour from 10 a.m. to 10:30 after their national 6 to 10 a.m., and after Saturday left, they brought me in to do the local call, and they wanted to bring me in, and they asked me, like, hey, will you do the local Colts talk on Tuesdays for the Bob and Tom show or whatever? And I remember the Bob and Tom show when I was a kid. We used to have it on in Pittsburgh on, I think, the WB channel or something like that, late night, and I would watch it whenever I was falling asleep at night because I was kind of a nocturnal creature because the brain never stops. So that was so long ago. I was like, I'm not going to join that show and be the reason it becomes a terrible show. So I actually said, no, thank you. I was like, that is not something I would want to be a part of. And Tom Griswold told me, if I don't come on the show, I'm an idiot, basically. And I said, all right, you got it. So I go on the show, and I kind of just fell in love with the medium, man. I enjoyed the hell out of the radio. I think it's an intimate relationship that you have with people. And the Bob and Tom folks kind of were my mentors. They taught me a lot, and I kind of see a lot of that in my show now where have a topic, talk about it, let's see if it gets hot, move on, let's do that. And I think the Bob and Tom folks are really the only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing currently, and I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, great guys. I got a chance to meet them. Not in Indianapolis, where I went many times, but in L.A., because they would come out to L.A. a lot because they were syndicated in the L.A. market as well. Great guy. But the guy with the Dodger hat, though, I always forget, is that Bob or Tom? He retired, right?
Yeah, that's Bob Cavoyan. He retired. They made the Hall of Fame, and then he retired, or the Radio Hall of Fame, and then he retired. He's my next-door neighbor, actually. He's the one that found me in my house I currently live in. I love that man.
Now, Harry Mays, my partner here, one of the things he always does when we have guests on, he wants to know, because do you play golf, Pat? I wasn't sure.
I'll hack it around every once in a while. There's been a couple off-season I got good, but I'll go out there and, smoke some vitamins, drink some beers, and swing a stick.
Because Harry always wants to know, because every guest, when we talk to the prominent people such as yourself, they always belong to an exclusive club in the area, and Harry's probably looking for one in the Indianapolis area that you could probably get him on.
Maybe like Crooked Stick.
Is Crooked Stick out there?
That's not far from Indianapolis.
Hey, I want to let you know, Bub, I am not a country club guy.
That's where John Daly won his first major.
Exactly right.
Yeah, hell yeah. He made it as a wild card or something, or a replacement for somebody.
Yep.
And by the last day, all of Indiana was following him down the fairway as he went on to win. John Daly, I got pretty tight with him there for a little bit. But, yeah, I think if you were to say my name at Crooked Stick, you might get rejected as opposed to accepted. And that's okay with me, by the way.
Yeah, he's not on the golf course. He's out on pontoon boats jumping into the water.
He had
like
Brian
a real-
Westbrook on his show today.
Brian
Westbrook.
B. West was on with you from Villanova?
Yeah, I love Brian Westbrook, man. We talked about how either Veach or Andy Reid said that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is better than Brian Westbrook during the draft. So I had to talk to him about that. It was not. He obviously got a little bit defensive there.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it, which he shouldn't have, by the way. Eagles Hall of Famer. He's a good interview, though. Good conversation, and he's currently living at a horse farm with his family. He's got 10 horses. So the conversation went a lot of different directions.
They're like miniature horses, though.
2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them are miniature horses.
Yeah.
8 of them are full.
Oh, he's got 8 full-growns now?
Yeah, Harry and I used to do regular shows with him on local radio.
I used to host the Brian Westbrook show.
Exactly
for
right.
years.
Come on, man.
We
love him, too.
He's good. By the way, not everybody. There's a lot of people that aren't. This is going to sound so arrogant, but there's some people who just aren't good at telling their story or telling their opinions. Brian Westbrook is incredible.
He is.
He's very, very good conversation. I'm very thankful for him.
That's that Villanova education.
That's right.
You're not getting that anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? By the way, one of our interns is going to Indiana University out there. And he's interning on the show. He's a big fan of the show, and he contacted us. He called us when he was 13 years old back in the day when I was in L.A., and then he followed us, and now here he is graduating. In fact, he just graduated this past weekend, right, at IU?
That is correct. Yes, Caleb.
Caleb Yearling.
Yarling.
Yearling's a horse, a young
horse.
baby horse. Yeah. I got horses on my way.
Brian Westbrook has a yearling.
Yeah, he has a yearling.
Yeah.
Well, tell Caleb I say congrats, grad. Bloomington out here in Indiana, good time, and I assume he's going to be a great intern for you guys, especially if he's been a fan since he was 13. That's a lot of loyalty. He knows the ins and outs of every one of your brains over there.
Yes, get this. He used to call into the show at 13 years old when he was having a sleepover, and he was hiding inside the sleeping bag, and he would dial the show, trying not to wake up his other friends. Yes.
Hey,
that's what happens. I mean, if you inspire people, Bob and Tom inspired you. I had radio people inspire me. So if these guys are, he wants to do journalism, he wants to be in the business, and he's showing the dedication that you really have to have. Because a lot of people want to get into this business. You were a great athlete, you played, and so people think, well, he only got into the business because he was a punter. That's not how it works. You got to work hard, and you busted your chops, man, to get to where you are. Because you just can't say, hey, I punted for the Colts, even though I made some unbelievable plays and some of the greatest plays in NFL history. So that, therefore, I have to have a job. If you get a job and then you can't perform, they don't care who you are.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot, and I think that's a heart because it has been a lot of work, obviously. Now, I enjoy the hell out of it, so I don't really view it as that tasking. But people think, like, making it either on the internet or radio or TV, like, especially this past fall, I got a chance to kind of do a little bit of a run there with ESPN. The amount of travel and the amount of busy work and then there's so much work that's involved in everything. And I think that's the one main trait. If you see everybody that's at the top of the mountain, it's being displayed in this Michael Jordan Last Dance. And it's kind of everybody that I got a chance to be around that were unbelievable at things. It feels like the one trait that all the people who are at the top of their mountains are incredible work ethic. And I was very lucky that I had a dad who was a truck driver and my mom a secretary, and we grew up in Pittsburgh. And I just feel like if you work your ass off, good things will happen. And I kind of carried that here to this internet thing. And hopefully me and my boys will get to the top of the mountain someday, but we very much understand it. Are we on FCC radio, yeah?
Yeah, we're still...
Yes, we're on SB Nation radio as well, so you can't use profanity. Not hard profanity.
There ain't a damn thing that you're going to get accomplished if you don't work your ass off. And I think that's why I have so much respect for you, who's been in the game for, 200 years at this point.
Exactly. But I'll do it for half that time, and I'll settle for 100 years. I always say 100 years. You're going to make me 200 now, Pat? Come on, man.
Well, with this quarantine, you talk about Adnan, I'm assuming you look pretty Zeus like yourself over there, and that just doesn't add. That doesn't add to the youth thing.
All right, one of the big stories we talked about on the show when it broke in New York about Monday Night Football, going in a different direction. You work for ESPN as well, and Harry and I were discussing it on the show, and knowing your style, and you do stuff with ESPN, and you do college football, and you did XFL, and so it's not like you're foreign to them. But I read that you said that you have no shot of being part of the Monday Night crew. Is that official, or is that just your gut feeling?
It's a year ago, my boys and I and the people that follow me on the internet are the greatest humans on earth. We pushed for the Monday Night Football rule. We know there was no chance that I would get considered for it, but we made a little bit of noise. And then every Monday going forward, I would receive tweets like, hope one day you get in there and stuff like that. And whenever the job seemed to be opened up yet again here, obviously the natural thing was, okay, we made a push for it last year. Let's go for it again. And every time I would ask a question to, my people, I was basically told, like, that's going to be a long shot. Like, that is going to be tough, obviously, because ESPN is trying to they went after Tony Romo, the best color commentator, hottest color commentator in the game right now. Then they go after Peyton Manning, massive name, Drew Brees, massive name. They want, a prestigious booth again. And whenever you're a punter, that's not necessarily the position you're always in, a prestigious one, shall we say. So I think I've been told on a couple of different occasions that I'm probably not the guy that's going to get that gig, and they try to say it in the nicest possible fashion. And do I think I'd be good at it? Yeah, I think I would be, but now is not the right time, and there is zero chance in hell that I get offered the gig anyways.
Hey, Pat, I know I watch you every week on College Game Day this past year, and it makes me think of college football. Here we are, May the 14th. How are you envisioning college football, right now today? It could obviously change in 2 weeks, whatever your opinion is, but what are you thinking the start of the season looks like right now?
We talk about this on my show here the last couple of days, and I think everybody's really intrigued by this, especially because if you look at the SEC, Big 10 and Big 12, a lot of their schools are in places that are going to start to really kind of open back up into society. Now, obviously, massive T's and P's for the coast for battling through this coronavirus still at a high level. But out here in the middle of America, the country has been open here for like the last week and a half. I don't know if the government knows that, but people did not know that they were supposed to stay at home for like the last 10 days, maybe 2 weeks out here in Indianapolis. I mean, it's almost like people have gotten stir crazy. And then you hear stories about Texas and Florida and Arizona and Georgia. And I think there's going to come a time where there's going to be a real conversation. Now, obviously, Greg Sankey came out, the SEC commissioner, and said that they're all unified and everything like that. But I think there's going to be ways that they're going to try to figure out how they can get the season to go. I hope they do. I got a chance to obviously get baptized in the college football world again last year, being out of it for so long. Enjoy the environment. I'm just not sure anybody has a clue what's going to happen, because I think as we open back up state by state here, I think we'll only be able to tell by the numbers of what happens to who. And going forward, I don't think anybody has a clue what's going to happen. But I think the NBA, 22 or 30 facilities being opened up on Monday, and you're talking about the golf thing happening this weekend, the UFC, it feels, in the NBA thing is the most positive thing I think I've heard, but it feels like there's going to be something, and that is coming from a guy who knows absolutely nothing.
So because one of the things we were talking about yesterday, like for today, the athletic director, or I guess the president of West Virginia, jokingly said, if I have to go out there and play, I'll go out there and play. That's how much we want football back. Obviously, he's not. But will there be one conference that says no and another conference that says yes? Could that happen where you have, for example, Herm Edwards saying Arizona State, if we don't have students back, we can't have football? Not everybody's on the same page. Not every conference is on the same page.
Yeah, I have no idea. And they've come out with a very unified front, but then Mark Emmert was like, the conferences and the local governments, they're going to have to figure it out themselves. I think until we get closer to the actual expiration date on making the decision, we won't really know if everybody's going to be on the same page or not. They're saying they are, but if you're the SEC, the Big 12, and all of your states have been able to resume, and let's just take football out of it. People in California who just got, another 3 to 4 month stay-at-home order, and then Indiana is about to be open this weekend, basically, and Texas is open. How are they going to handle that? I don't know how we're going to have a unified vision on any of this, let alone football, but I am here for it. Can't wait to see what the hell happens, and if college football takes place, I'm happy. If it doesn't because it's too risky, I understand, and I think the NFL is something that's going to set the tone in a lot of this, too. I think they're going to ford the river with this whole thing, and who knows how that's going to work out as well, especially with the L.A. teams, San Francisco, and the New York teams.
The great
and
Pat,
Philadelphia.
The great Pat McAfee. So, Pat, people listening, if they don't know where you already are, I don't know how that's possible, but how do people get to hear you every single day?
Don't, Tony. It's not good. Just, this was enough, probably. They don't need to. Too much of me is not a good thing.
No, come on, man. You're on the show. I want people that's at Pat McAfee Show on Twitter.
Nah, Tony, my Twitter isn't even good anymore. So I like, if you want the YouTube, we're on the YouTube. But other than that, don't even worry about it. I mean, just in spurts. If
you have enough. So you're saying you have enough listeners. Enough. You're full, and you can't because you have to socially distance your listeners.
He's
now?
At capacity.
You're at capacity right now. You're at the safe capacity to not continue to add more great listeners to your program every day.
To be 100% candid, we have too many. There's too many people that are listening to what we're doing, and I don't think it's warranted. So let's just cap it off here. All right.
How about and the ones you don't want to, just send them our way.
I've never ever heard anyone in any form of media promotion department or anywhere on earth in any business, especially media, say that's enough. No, we got enough.
He's got 1.7 million Twitter followers.
I know. We have 1.7 million followers is enough. I don't want 2 million. I don't want 3 million. You sound like Blake Snell. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Twitter used to be a lot more fun whenever I was smaller. I used to be a real savage on there. Now, can't do it. YouTube, obviously, our YouTube is growing. It's where but it's just too many. I don't know why. We're not good enough yet for that many people. So we'll just keep working. And if we get back on the Tony Bruno show or get the Tony Bruno Award again, we'll let people know where we're at. We'll be better then.
Well, people can see it. It's right in front of your computer, and you haven't even moved it or covered it with a beer can or a sauce bottle. So I appreciate that, man. What is that
it's
sauce?
A beautiful award.
What is that sauce thing you have next?
Well, that's not live, Tony. I just grabbed it.
I know
off
it's a
the
picture.
Internet. Yeah.
I know it's not live, Robin. I said, what is that on the picture where the computer has my trophy there, or his trophy?
Is it hot sauce or something?
What is that hot sauce you got on there?
That's Nick Mangold's barbecue sauce, 74 barbecue.
Okay.
The great Nick Mangold, Harry.
Yeah. Former Jet.
That's giving a lot. See, that's what I love about you, Pat. Everybody wants to give the quarterbacks and the running backs and the wide receivers. You're talking to the guys in the trenches.
He's a center,
the punters, the kickers, the unappreciated parts of the National Football League, and even the student athletes matriculating in the collegiate game.
Yeah, we're the public golf course guys. You know what I mean? We're the public golf course guys. We can give you any public golf course you need, Harry. But Nick Mangold decided to release launch a barbecue company, barbecue sauce company in the middle of a pandemic. So any help he can get, I am just trying to help him out as much as possible.
Hey, people have to eat. You can put barbecue sauce on anything, even like cardboard, and make it taste better. I mean, if you're eating a box.
Hey, especially this barbecue sauce. I mean, Tony, this barbecue sauce, the one on my desk is not open, but I'll drink that straight to the face. You know, it's just so good.
Oh, I think we need some.
You tell Nick I need a bottle, though, because, we can't get any meat, steaks, chicken, or anything. I'll put it on some cardboard boxes or more Amazon deliveries. It'll probably taste better.
It's 74 barbecue. That's what it's called.
74 barbecue. He doesn't want now, Nick hasn't sold too much of it, right? I'm sure if you would ask him.
I do not think so. I think we are at the early stages. We need to start selling more because it's so damn good.
Hey, Pat, thanks you so
Pat.
much for coming on, man. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you. Sorry I was late. Cheers.
No problem.
The great.
Did Robin give me bad information?
I did.
This is what Robin handed to me.
No, 50. The hard out was the same. He was out at 56 to give him time to get into
56:30.
No, it's 56, 59, or 58. It didn't change. You changed it.
Ah, jeez.
Okay, I even showed.
What does it say right there, Harry?
I know.
56:30 hard out.
And that's where I took it, to 56:30 hard out. So I got to give Robin one of these again. I mean, I hate to do it.
He was standing over my shoulder when I.
Since we didn't do a break because we came in and went the full segment. Yeah, that's fine. I know that. So we changed the clock.
Nick Kale's going to call.
Okay.
Because he's down in Nashville. He's got a gym update.
Jim?
Yeah,
Jim who?
No,
Jim
Jim's
Harbaugh?
like-
No, I know. I'm kidding. Jim Shorts? Jim Nance? You remember the guy Jim Shorts on sports? It was a guy, a Chicago sports writer.
Yeah.
And he had a syndicated show on sports, and it was called Jim Shorts on Sports.
I do remember that.
And he was really funny. I don't remember what his real name was.
Interesting that he said that his Twitter handle doesn't work anymore.
It does.
It does.
He's joking.
I know.
Yeah.
He's probably tired of dealing with
But I
people
think
on
he's-
Twitter.
I think he's more on Instagram now.
Yeah, but he's also he has so many people on Twitter hitting him up. He has no way to answer or read he doesn't read his even read. He has his guys read all of his stuff.
It sounded like he doesn't think Twitter's much fun anymore
But- 'cause it's
he
not.
can't
It's
say
not.
anything anymore. And
Tone, you're not going to hear a Robin return in the music on the way back, all right?
Okay.
Jim Shorts' real name was Kevin Matthews.
That's right. That's right. He's a Chicago sports
Yep.
legend.
Yep.
He did a lot of radio. He did regular radio, but he did a syndicated sports show called Jim Shorts on Sports.
WGN radio.
Flyer guy Blake, I have not been drinking tequila early, but now I kind of want one. Damn it.
I keep forgetting that Dikembe Mutombo is our intern. Did you know that?
No. Yes.
It's Caleb, the intern. He's DeCaleb Mutombo.
Oh, okay.
You see, DeCaleb Mutombo. He said it made his week giving him love with Pat McAfee in Naptown, yeah. So people have already picked up on the Jim question.
On the what question?
We should do
Oh,
that.
Jim?
Yeah. Hey. All right, let's see if we can get hour 2 back on track here. You see, this is professional live broadcasting, Harry. Do not try this yourself at home in your own basement. If you're trying to do a podcast or a blog or even something that has really jumped the shark to me, Harry, and I hate to say it right now, the whole Zoom thing with 50 people in boxes.
Yeah.
It's bad enough to see 2 heads in boxes on TV yelling at one another. When you got 25, and I understand that's how some people have to do business.
Yeah, my wife does that.
I
every
understand
now
the
and then.
business part of it, but the goofing off part of it, it's hard enough for 3 people to goof off at once.
And not talk over one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have like 25 people on a screen. Like, God bless you. I'm not telling you you're forbidden. I'm not a governor. I don't tell you you can't go on there and do it or face arrest or have somebody come to your house like an ambassador to tell you to stay away. We don't do that on the show. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Exactly right. So anyway, we got a lot coming up. Chris Therrien's going to join us. He is officially now aware that he will be on the program this hour.
He did.
Has he been given the notification?
Yes. Yes, I gave him the notification again. And he wrote back, LOL, yes, I'm aware that I'm going to be on at
Okay, we're just
420.
double checking now because we had, and give Pat McAfee credit because he didn't blow us off. You know,
No.
some people blow you. Oh, I got something. He literally had something
Yeah.
to do after his show was
It was
over.
a business call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of business, huh?
Right.
Because it's all about the brand.
It is. Meanwhile, we got a caller on the line right now who wants to give us an update
from the Mid-South.
Is
down
that the
in
Mid-South
Nashville.
region? You would call that the Mid-South?
Well, I guess Memphis is what they typically call the Mid-South. Maybe not Nashville. We'll just call it the South.
Tennessee, Harry.
Yeah.
Tennessee, that's the Rocky Mountain state. Let's go to a man, Nick Cale, a former friend of the show, and still friend of the program, broadcasting icon as well, down there in Nashville, Tennessee. He's got a tan going right now because I hear the weather is nice. Remember that song Rockabye where it says, sort of like Nashville with a tan? Who did that song, Nick Cale? Let me test your Nashville knowledge.
I have absolutely no idea, Tony.
Oh, man. Are you serious right now?
Give me one of those.
When you request
By the
one...
way,
Wait a minute.
Tony, I hate to rip you on your own show. But
Go right ahead.
You're going to bring up Zoom and people in the box, and you don't have one of your famous drops on the soundboard ready?
I have it right here.
What's in the box? Oh, come on, man.
Hey, listen, I don't need you from the what do you call it? What's the gallery? The Peanut Gallery. Calling from Nashville, telling me when the hit drops on my own show.
Ask him when his show's on.
Yeah, when is your? No, come on, Harry. That's not. See, that's wrong.
Wow.
By the way, the song was.
Wow.
The recording artist was Sean Mullen, not John McMullen.
No.
Sean Mullen had that classic hit, Rockabye. And
Not
in
Shawn
the
Mendes.
song, remember that song? Everything's gonna be all right.
He said not Shawn Mendes.
Not Shawn Mendes, no. And not
Yeah, I was
Sean,
gonna-
and of course the greatest Sean in Philadelphia sports history, Harry.
Sean from Pine Hill.
No, not that Sean. No, he's a jobber. Sean Bradley, for God's sake.
Oh, he stinks.
What's the matter with you guys, man?
It's an embarrassment that he was in the freaking Last Dance.
He was a great golfer, though, Harry.
He's an NBA jam for Philadelphia.
Yes, he
like,
is.
How sad is that?
It's terrible.
This guy
You know,
was.
I was gonna give Harry a little love when he said, how's the weather? It's sunny down here. You're tanning my bald head. I was gonna say it's low to mid 80s, just like a Harry Mays golf score. But you take shots at me. All right.
That was. I would never go that low, even though
He
you
came
started.
at you.
He came at me twice, but I don't go. When he goes low, I don't go lower.
Hey,
Harry.
listen, I will go as low as I need to go.
You must be good at.
Iverson once
Yeah,
said,
exactly.
"Don't go there with me."
Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's funny to me, too.
Exactly.
He's set up about 4 of his own drops.
I know.
You realize this?
See how we train everybody, Harry? We have all our former producers trained. Anybody who's ever worked on the show, listened to the show, they're all trained to know and expect when something's going to happen.
Every phone call I've ever had with this guy goes like this. Do you realize this? Seriously, you live in his head.
Sort of
I'm
like Trump in the
permanently
media, you mean? He's like, I'm Trump, he's the media?
Yeah, exactly.
And I live in his head every day?
Yes.
All right, Nick, now you got breaking news from down there, because we're not just here to just hobnob and BS, because this is an important public service we're performing. We already told you the beaches are going to open in New Jersey this weekend.
Right.
So all the cool mods and the schifozos will be out there again. And the only thing, I tell you what, coronavirus will be the least of the concerns for the people on the Jersey Shore beaches this weekend.
Right.
But what about Nashville? We have breaking news from Nashville down there? Are the Predators coming back?
No, I don't think so, Tony. I don't think so. But things are good down here, man. The gyms are reopening. Restaurants are seating people. I went to a nice Mexican restaurant last night. There was probably, 8 or 9 tables out of 12 to 13 that were occupied by people. People are going back to their gyms.
How dare they? Haven't you gotten on? Didn't you go out with a megaphone and denounce those people and shame them, telling them that they're killing people?
Tony, it's simple math. It's common logic. 99.8% recovery rate. People down here.
That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for most of the columnists in this country who write about sports. Don't you understand that you must pay attention to every word they say until it's safe to come out?
Yeah. Well, no, Tony, the Southeast, you look at Tennessee, you look at Georgia, we weren't hit as bad as some other places. So, like my local YMCA, I went back to the gym. I got on the treadmill the last 3 nights. I still wore latex gloves. I had my mask, but you can't wear that on the treadmill because you'll die. But they ask you questions. They scan your forehead with a digital thermometer. They're still taking precautions, but you just can't sit in your basement and hide forever.
Well, what do you think we're doing? We're doing a show every day, pal.
You actually have a purpose.
Now, are you responsible for cleaning off the treadmill or any of the equipment that you use, or do they have somebody coming around doing that every 5 minutes?
No, you actually have to clean it when you get on and clean it when you get off with the spray bottle and the rag.
Okay.
And that's great. I saw a guy on
Planet Fitness is like that, too.
No, but they're doing it now.
Yeah.
I saw a guy on a gym who's going to open over in Belmar, New Jersey.
Right.
He says he's going to open. He's already redone his entire gym. He's got the equipment 6 feet apart. He's got squares around it on the floor, and every single machine has one of those spray bottles on it. So you walk in, you're going to have a mask on, you're going to have gloves, whatever, and everybody's going to sanitize their own machines.
Yeah, Planet Fitness had those spray bottles pre-COVID-19.
Exactly. You
that was
have
like
to.
One of those
You
things.
got people sweating on stuff. So these places are, and the thing that bothers me, and we've been talking about it, is the governors and mayors who determine what's essential and what's not. And I think that's the biggest problem people have. You can go into a Walmart with 1,000 people in there sweating on each other, but then you can't go into your gym to work out. That's the part that people have a problem grasping. Not the fact that we're not aware of what this virus does. It's just that there's an excuse. Like everybody wants everybody to sit at home for another 2 years.
Now, Nick, are the liquor stores open down there?
Yeah, the liquor stores are open. They never really closed. Golf courses never shut down. And they took precautions, but things have been relatively normal down here. I guess alcohol is considered essential.
Except in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right.
It's not here.
We live in the wrong area, man.
Oh yeah, it's is it humid down there yet though? In Nashville. I've been in Nashville, Tennessee. I love Nashville. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Tony, it's 85 and sunny today.
Wow. That's all right. It's going to be 85 and sunny here tomorrow, pal. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Except we're not allowed to go outside yet.
Yeah, we have to sit inside in 85-degree weather.
So I guess everybody should just stay inside, ride their Pelotons, hit golf balls in the simulator in the garage, and never leave their house, right?
You're damn
that is
right,
if
Pat.
you had a garage or if you had room to put a Peloton. We're in South Philly.
Hey,
Come on.
trust me, if I had a simulator at my house, I never would leave the house.
Come on, Harry. Now, by the way, can you get Harry on some of the great tracks?
He already has.
Oh, he has?
I was down there last summer.
Oh, you already went down and sponged off Nick Cale's access to golf courses?
Yeah, he actually has a hookup at a really nice club.
What's the club down there?
It's the Hermitage, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Now, did you ask Pat McAfee to play on his golf course?
Yeah, he did. And he's a Muni guy. He's like me, man. He goes out to the Munis. He's not one of these country club guys.
I want to see if he could get me into crooked stick. I don't even think he knew what it was.
I heard never mind.
We're talking with the great Nick Cale. Even Pat Canine checking in on the Twitch stream said,
No.
I didn't know Nick was on. I didn't know it was him. How soon we forget.
Well, that's all right, Tony. When I had a radio show, nobody knew I was on either.
Oh, see, self-deprecation. That's good on the show.
Good. Now, Nick, Tony's hair is growing back because because we're in quarantine. What about yours?
No, I just shaved it about 2 hours ago.
Okay, so
nice and clean now.
Exactly.
Hopefully, you're going to rub off on Tony.
Now, did you get a straight razor? What'd you use? A 5-blade, 6-blade, 7-blade, baby? What are you using?
I use a Harry's razor.
Oh, exactly
there
right.
You go.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what it says after you're done shaving with a Harry's razor? It says,
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Exactly.
Oh, God.
So, seriously now.
Are we done with this yet?
Not yet. What do you mean, are we done? You called here.
Are we done?
You want me to be like a regular talk show host and just hang up on you and run him? Should I run him?
Or rack him?
No, I'm not racking him.
They're not racking him.
Jim Rome only racks great calls. He has a take, but he sort of sucks at the same time, to quote my friend Jimmy Romey. You have some takes, but you suck. I think that's going to be my new thing. You had a take or two, but for the most part, I got to run you.
Well, he listens to the show every now and then.
You listening down there? Where are you listening on?
I listen on satellite, channel 211, baby.
Which satellite is that? Is that Telstar? Which one you listening to? The International Space Station?
Here, you get a little promo rejoinder for your show. You're listening to Tony Bruno and Harry Mays on Sirius XM channel 211, Dan Patrick Radio.
Boom!
Wow.
There you have
One
it.
take, too. How about that?
You trained him well, Tony. You trained him well.
You, Nick Hill. You're good. You're good. Brendan Burrows, can this crossover just end now?
So everything's back to normal in Nashville. It sounded like it really didn't change all that much.
No, I don't think it ever. I mean,
well, you had that tragedy. Remember, before this whole thing started, you had the terrible tornadoes going through.
The
devastation down there. Now, you live down there. That area, I'm sure it's not completely rebuilt.
That was in early March.
Yeah, those people are getting their lives back to normal, right? Because it became a big story, and then the coronavirus hit, and then nobody was talking about it nationally anymore.
Yeah, no, people getting their lives back together, debris and all cleaned up for the most part. Rebuilding some of the businesses that got hit, with property damage will probably take some time. But, Nashville will bounce back.
Absolutely. It always does, man. It always does.
Nashville strong, right? Isn't that the slogan?
Well,
that
everything's
correct,
strong.
It's a hashtag.
Yeah.
You know what Harry's hashtag is? Vodka stronger. It's not vodka strong.
Tito's strong.
Tito's
strong.
Stronger.
Well,
not just drunk.
I actually, for the first time ever, I made a TikTok with Harry getting the new, what do you call that?
The dropper?
The dropper to measure his cranberry.
Yeah.
And in TikTok, there was the perfect sticker for him, and it said, "Vodka is my spirit animal." I was like, oh.
And don't forget
it's
the new
made for
slogan. By the way, go to TonyBrunoShow.com and go into the store, Nick, because there's a shirt that you must have. I may send you one, but I would recommend you buy it and tell people to go out and buy it, too. It's the official slogan of the Tony Bruno Show on Thirsty Thursday, which is,
Come on, Dad, let us die drunk, at least.
if you're going to let us die drunk at least.
Come on, Dad, let us die drunk, at least.
And don't forget, you know what today is? It's Thirsty Thursday.
And by the way, those T-shirts are available at TonyBrunoShow.com on our shop.
Isn't that what I like to say?
You got like a promo discount code I can use for 30% off?
It's a good idea. I may do it.
Bruno 50. I think is
no,
what it is.
that's on the golf bag.
Oh,
That's on the golf bag. So
sorry.
let's
Bruno
pour one out.
25.
Yeah, let's,
Good vodka.
it's Thirsty Thursday.
The big picture. Just pour it right in.
Nick Kale, ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together once again for the man, the myth. Joe Eunice is coming up next. No, I'm kidding. That's what people are joking on. Mertitas, Kale.
Kale's a Tito's guy, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When's Eunice coming on? It'll be a family reunion show. We may do that for like a big family reunion show. Like a holiday weekend when nobody's listening. Nick, great to talk to you, brother. Be safe down there, man. Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Did we run him?
We ran him.
Good. It's about damn time,
he
man.
Gone.
He was starting to piss me off. Chris Therien, Bundy will join us next. We'll talk some hockey, yo, and other stuff. Stick around.
Oh, it is true though. Every single person that I've ever talked to that's worked with you for longer than, like a month,
He goes,
they are all very well trained. They
that
know
was
all
hilarious. He just he gets ripped.
Joe Eunice's remote says Joe is available for Monday's show if you want to get him.
He's available, what, 3:20?
What's he doing, Joe Eunice? Is he
Last
still?
I heard or talked to him, he was working with the paper, like the newspaper company.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not. Thinking of what happened to newspapers,
Yeah.
but he was working for him.
Wow.
And then he still does his website.
Right.
But now there's really nothing to gamble on.
I know. Well, we got a lot of action
How
now.
many kids does he have now?
Who, Eunice?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't have more than 2.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Okay, so we have Chris Therien coming up.
Do you have the ice rink thing?
Yes, I do. Do you want to actually show it up on the screen?
Yeah, put it up there so I can read it from there too. It'd be easier.
Did you want this or what he
No,
said?
the one where he has his Montreal Expo sweatshirt on.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
see
I
his face
can't
so
put
you
it. I can't put it all on one screen.
I know that, but I'm saying we scroll up.
Okay.
Eunice looks like a clean-cut DJ Khaled.
Does he? I haven't seen him. Is he still on Twitter?
Yeah.
So can you pull it up on you? Can you, Tony, pull up the actual
tweet
there, and then
Okay.
I'll put this photograph up. That'll work the best.
I was busting Jason Fitz's balls too. Good dude. Have you ever met Jason Fitz? He works at ESPN Radio.
I know who he is.
We met him in New York. This first time I met him. He won a Grammy. Did you know that?
Yeah, fiddle player.
I knew that he was a musician. I didn't realize he was a Grammy award-winning musician.
Yes. He's a good kid. He looks like a kid. He's older than he looks, but he looks like he's in Nashville too, you know.
Not anymore.
Well, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick replaced him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
This is Wisecracker. It says I guess he's John from Abington.
Yeah,
Is that
John from Manayunk.
Is that Wisecracks?
Yeah.
He says, hasn't lived in Manayunk in 10 years, but I hear you with Harry Mays making Nick Cale references, so I had to call in. They told me to call back later. Horn sound drop. #shame.
Philly Ferguson AZ says, Tony, once the pandemic is over, you all need to do a remote from Arizona.
Absolutely.
Totally
We need to do
agree.
a remote from everywhere.
I could do a permanent remote from Arizona. Be fine with me.
I think, well, choice-wise, I really just want to be down in Florida at the Gulf, on the Gulf Coast. Sarasota area. Sarasota, Tampa.
Yeah.
You're going to die,
As long as
Rob.
it ain't Pennsylvania.
You're going to die. And you're going to make other people die, too. Because you know why?
This is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Godfather Locks is still up. Eunice's Twitter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still following me? Let me check.
How about a remote from the 717? Where's 717?
It's up in Harrisburg.
Lancaster.
Lancaster County. Lebanon. Lebanon's up there in Lancaster County, isn't it?
We'll do remotes from pretty much anywhere as soon as we are able to figure out how to do a remote. With
Wait a
all
minute.
of our-
AJ in San Antonio says, do a remote from the TPC San Antonio.
Yeah.
I can get Harry on that course.
Yeah, that's where the Valero Texas Open is.
Listen, Robin and I have been to Siesta Key. We've been everywhere on those beaches in the Clearwater, St. Pete area. Best sand.
Okay, we do have your guest on
The great Chris Therien.
Palmyra, apparently. Hershey, Palmyra area.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
I know you're probably thinking, these people are having way too much fun. And they're working. Because it's not work. It is fun. We're here. We're your distraction. We're your social distancers. We keep everybody at the right spacing, and that's why everybody stays safe on the show. You'll never hear anybody get sick from the show. Maybe listening to it if you avoid excessive use, like most drugs, when they say, take only as directed, avoid excessive use.
Right.
Now, we tried
moderation,
to get this.
Tony.
Everything's in moderation, Harry, except hockey. There is no hockey moderation right now, or a moderator, or anybody, except Chris Therien. And we got a lot of good action. A lot of people up there in Ottawa. Our good friend, Mr. Ice Rink. Jeff, who's going through cancer treatments. Jeff Morris. He's from Ottawa. And this guy's from Ottawa, too. And he is, of course, the great Bundy. He is Chris Therien, the most decorated Flyer defenseman in history. He played more games, 753 games on the blue line, Harry Mays, for your Philadelphia Flyers. And he still looks like he can play.
He does.
Bundy, how are you, man?
Doing great, guys. Glad to catch up today. And you know what? This is the worst part with the whole, whatever it is, pandemic. You get caught up on these Zoom calls, and I had the wrong day listed yesterday. So totally my fault. I heard you guys ripped on me, which is great. But I'm glad to join you guys today and talk about no sports.
Now, listen, I don't want to, it's not my style to criticize people, but we did have to give you it's a symbol of the show. We do it to ourselves. No one is safe here. The hosts, the callers, the producers, the board op.
Yeah, there's no immunity here.
There's no immunity here. You mess up on the show, you mess up, you get one of these.
I love it.
All right.
Great stuff.
Now, before we get to hockey, because people always say Bundy, where, because there's King Kong Bundy. Right.
Yeah.
There's Peg Bundy, Al Bundy. Right?
Yep.
And people say, how did you get it? And it's interesting because on this date, back in 1998, I think you were you were still playing then, weren't you? 1998?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you went to what, 2006, right?
Yeah, I think 06.
2006, 22 years ago today. You know what happened?
1998, I think it was an unceremonious, to be honest with you, an unceremonious playoff for the Flyers in 98.
No, it's not about hockey.
Not everything's about hockey.
No, wait. This song was a hit long before that, but Frank Sinatra died 22 years ago today at the age of 82, and since people called you Bundy because of married with children, right? Isn't that how you got the nickname?
It is. I used to watch Married with Children, and I was a big fan, of course, as every other 20-year-old was at the time, of Christine Applegate, who is approaching 50 like me right now. So it makes you put things in perspective. But I'd always watched Married with Children, and when Nickelodeon was in, I'd be like the first guy to the rink my rookie year or training camp, and I'd just sit there on the couch watching. And Craig McTavish said it reminded him of another guy he played with. His name was Bundy, but then he watched the show. He said, "You know what? You're kind of exactly like that dude." So the name stuck, and I tell people it's a good thing. It's after Al. It's not after Ted. It's like there was a guy that played for the Blackhawks. His name was Dave Manson. His nickname was Charlie.
Yes.
I mean, you stay away from that on the ice the best you can.
You're absolutely right. And of course, you were talking about there was what happened a bunch of years ago today. Also, did happen in hockey as we bring it to hockey.
2010.
2010, 10 years ago today. What happened, bud? Let me just check your hockey and Flyer knowledge.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have got it without the handiwork of Twitter, but 10 years ago puts me in Game 7 of the 0-3 comeback twice in the series for the Flyers. I was doing radio at the time with Tim Saunders. Probably the greatest thing that I was actually able to see live every single day was a team come back from 0-3. You have to see, first of all, you have to witness a total and utter collapse on the other side, which we did, and I'm glad it was the Bruins that happened to. But you have to be so full of luck to be down 0-3 and then come back, and I watched it happen. So many things have to go your way, but that was an incredible thing. I think it would have been celebrated even more so, except the LA Kings did it 2 years later, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. San Jose had a 3-0 lead on LA.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings came back, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. So it's been done 4 times now in hockey history. But it was an incredible event to watch and a very, very crowd-pleasing and media-pleasing moment for me, especially as a former player, to witness that happen. It was cool. Very cool.
That series against the Kings is one of the many reasons, or one of the many examples of San Jose just being snake-bitten in the playoffs.
Absolutely. We talked about that yesterday, man. You talk about a team,
a regular season dynamo.
Yeah, they win they win the President's Cup, and then they don't win the cup. And I love those fans in San Jose. I've been to the building many times, and they're snake bit. That franchise is snake bit, man.
They are, and last year they got a little bit of a break too when they ended up getting that Vegas. Vegas had that lead late in San Jose, and there was a cross check, and then went 5-on-3, and then the Sharks tied it. And a lot of people thought maybe that would be the monkey off their back, but they bumped into another former Flyer, and Craig Berube, and that came crashing down too. So, I believe they played in last year's finals. I know Berube also played Dallas, but San Jose hadn't opened a door for them last year. And then you're right, they've had a lot of veteran-laden team for many years. They just haven't been able to push through. It happens. It's hard to win. One team wins it. 23 guys win the cup at the end of the year. So, there's a lot of guys. More guys don't win it than do win it.
Yeah, until they crown a new champion, if they do this year, your buddy Craig Berube is still riding high. I mean, I know you've probably been in contact with him many times. How is he enjoying the championship?
Is he still carrying the cup around from city to city, coming back he came back to the Philly area, and I got a chance to touch the cup and have fun with it. So what do you do in this situation? You already started the season. You played into it. And as Harry just mentioned, no hockey. So do you still get to bring the cup around, or is that long gone?
No, that's done for Chief and the Blues. I mean, that party's over. I went to his the family thing he had late last summer. It was a great time. It was an unbelievable time. I brought my son. I allowed him to take a picture with the cup and spend some time with Craig. So it was great. I mean, really, I think again, in this year they've been first in the West all year. I mean, he didn't win the Jack Adams last year as Coach of the Year because he took over about halfway through when they went on to win. But to go from worst to first and then win the Stanley Cup, if they awarded a Jack Adams trophy this year for Coach of the Year, it should go to Berube. And if it's not Berube, it could easily go to Alain Vigneault in Philadelphia, again, for what he's done with the Flyers this year.
Harry won the Jack Daniels trophy earlier, but he won at Tito's. He settled for the Jack Daniels. He was going to get the Tito.
I used to win that, too. Yeah, I hear you guys.
Chris Therien. Now, our buddy Ice Rink in Ottawa is a great friend of the show. He's been listening for a long, long time through all of my reincarnations in the business. His real name is Jeff Morris, and he's an Ottawa guy like you, and he said, today is the 1-year anniversary of my miracle survivor of a tumor that ate a third of my skull and penetrated my brain. It was the size of a tennis ball. I was actually home in 48 hours and started writing again after 3 days. Unfortunately, today I found out I have relapsed. There's no cure for multiple myeloma, and he wanted to talk about, you being on the show today. He said, he 16 weeks of chemo, then a stem cell transplant, which requires another month in the hospital. So he was not planning on not missing the show, but when he heard Chris Therien was coming on, he's one of us. Ask him what he misses the most about Ottawa, beaver tails, poutine, or shawarma. Because Ottawa has a big Lebanese population right up there, and they have the best shawarma on the continent, Jeff says. And also, he says, beaver tails are like flat pastries drenched in squeezed lemon and brown sugar, an Ottawa delicacy. And everybody knows poutine if you've been in Canada at all. I mean, it's a staple, man.
First off, to your friend Jeff and an Ottawa native, keep fighting. I hear stories like this often, and I'm inspired by it. The food part of it, I can actually tell you a quick journey for Ottawa. So I grew up on the beaver tails. They actually used to be called. It was owned by a company called Hookers, if you could believe that. They were called Hookers Beaver Tails, and it started down on the market where they say the hookers used to hang out. That's where it was back in the day. So they extended to the Rideau Canal, the long skating rink that's open in the winter. So that became a staple. And, yeah, it's got the lemon juice on it with the cinnamon sugar and the butter. It's unbelievable. I'm going to have to say, though, guys, the shawarma is just off the charts. There's a huge Mediterranean population in the Ottawa area, both Lebanese, many Greeks, several thousand Greeks, both in Toronto and Ottawa. The shawarma is off the charts, and the poutine is just another, you can get that anywhere now. It's like ordering fries. It says, do you want an extra $1? Do you want to make it a poutine? Of course, I'll make it a poutine for an extra $1. So they are all food staples in the nation's capital, all three of them. And it would be a very tough answer to eliminate one as one of the best. They are all three are excellent in their own right.
Yeah, he says that poutine is the biggest French-Canadian contribution to the country since that warbling insect from hell, Celine Dion. So he's obviously not a Celine Dion fan either.
Wow. I had actually brought poutine to Ponzio's in Cherry Hill.
Yep.
And they had it on the menu for 6 months, and the cheese was just so hard to get, the Canadian curd cheese, that they pulled it off the menu.
Wow. I was going to say, that doesn't travel well. You have to put that together. It's like a cheesesteak. You can't travel with a cheesesteak with the onions and the cheese in it because, after a couple of hours, it gets all greasy and it's not really good to warm up. Same thing with poutine, right? You got to have the fresh potatoes, and then you got to put all the mess. It's what it is, Poutine means mess. Did you know that? Well,
I do now.
All right, let's get it back to hockey here, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking is going to happen here? Do you think they're going to get back and play in certain arenas for the playoffs, or what?
Well, I mean, I don't. Here's what I think, based on all the stuff I've put together or been able to see. They're going to try to they're going to have to go to 4 neutral sites. They're going to expand it, I would think, to 24 teams because you're going to have 8 that would say, well, you know what about the 14 games or whatever we had left to try to get our way in. So they'll be all right from that standpoint. They have to find 4 locales that can house the teams, both at hotels, and make sure that the testing and whatever else they have to make sure it's safe enough for these guys to go in and play is there. Again, guys, I don't know what that entails. I don't think the NHL or any league right now actually knows what that entails. I really don't. I don't believe that they know today. They're talking, they're having discussions, but if there's nothing concrete right now that would say, here we are. Like baseball's giving you a July 4th date. They're saying we're going to be July 4th, it looks like. Whether or not they get to that is completely different than where we are with the NHL right now because there's just so many hurdles. We've never seen anything like this. Again, I don't know if the timing could have been worse for basketball and for the National Hockey League, for the NBA and the National Hockey League, because their playoffs were just a mere 3 or 4 weeks away from beginning. So, you have elements now that none of this adds up probably to having the best product you can have in the playoffs. The best part is the fact that if you return, it is the playoffs, so the intensity is automatically ramped up. But you got to get through the training camp hurdle. You've got to be able to get a schedule together, and you have to probably, guys, as you know, you've been in sports your whole lives, there's probably litigation and lawyers and financials involved at some part of this that everybody's trying to figure out. So for me to say, do I think we're going to come back? I just don't know. I wrote an article on it last week for the Flyers site, for the PhiladelphiaFlyers.com, just about where we're at with this. And, again, the model now looks like 24 teams, 4 neutral sites, and something that they want to get done in 50 days so they can restart a season. No fans around. That seems to be the same scenario that we're seeing for both baseball and basketball. And that certainly is a huge element, guys. To play in buildings without any kind of fans is going to be a real challenge. But to complete it financially, they're going to have to probably suck it up and do it. That's what I see. I just don't know the time frame of it. Ultimately, if we're going to start doing something, wouldn't you think they'd have to start laying some plans out pretty quick? I would think so.
We're talking with Chris Therien, former Flyer great, former NHL great, Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, Miss Robin here on a Thirsty Thursday. All right, Bundy, now, you mentioned that. We talked about it yesterday, about how the commissioner, Gary Bettman, who's been pretty invisible, was on a conference call, a virtual town hall, with some San Jose business leaders the other day, and he says he doesn't see a scenario where he's going to say, yeah, let's just cancel the season. So he wants to play. He's saying the right things. But in baseball, we're seeing the players there sort of resist a little bit. Some guys saying it's not even worth doing it. What do you think the hockey player mentality is going to be? Are they going to say, yes, we want to do this? Or are they going to say, hey, you know what, it may not be safe. I don't want to be away from my family. What do you think hockey players will say when they're presented with this? Because a lot of these guys are all over the world. They're not just all sitting at home.
Right, which is another part of the equation right there that you mentioned, guys, is the fact that, you got to get these players back. So if they're going to fly back and you're going to have expenses and all this stuff involved as part of it, then you're going to have to make sure that these guys, when you come back, that they're going to be ready, set, and go. I would think the guys want to play, but I do know this. I've been part of the 04 lockout. Now, maybe times have changed. Maybe they have over the years, and I know there's more emphasis on conditioning. My biggest fear is the actual conditioning part itself. Because if you're at home guessing when things are going to start, you cannot mentally and physically challenge yourself to go 8 hours a day to work out. It's impossible. So what kind of shape do guys come back in? Because if there's 800 players in the league, I can assure you that not all 800 of them are going to be in tip-top shape. That's just a fact. That's exactly what happened in 04, and I think the league, the more it got to it, players realized, holy geez, I put 20 pounds on, or I'm just not in game shape. So that is a factor, but I think if Gary says to them, listen, this is how we're going to lay it out, it's going to have to be a scenario that works for everybody, and I guess safety first has to be a big part of the equation for the players, the coaches, the administrators, managers, whoever's involved with each team has to make sure that that's a safe event. I'm in the belief, guys, I know maybe I'm a little bit more old school in a sense, but me personally, if I'm a player, I want to play. I want to play right now. I'll play with the risks involved. If I'm thinking of myself back then, in those days, I'd have been about a 26 or 27-year-old player, and my attitude is if we can play and we can keep it as safe as possible, even if there's no fans, then sign me up and let's get going really quick here because we're just wasting another day talking about it.
Is there a team or teams that you could think of right now where it might not be such a disadvantage with this kind of setup? Is there a team that you think could weather that maybe better than others?
In terms of the conditioning part of it, or just the overall?
Well, that and also playing in strange arenas with nobody in it. Does that favor anybody?
No. It's an equal playing ground. What it does, though, is it'll take away your home ice advantage. Like the Flyers were incredible in Philadelphia this year. I haven't seen that in a long, long time. I mean, that team had not been great at home in quite some time, and this year they had an unbelievable year. So when you take away those elements, sure. I mean, you can't recreate, a home crowd for the guys that played so well at the Wells Fargo Center. It's the same thing for, say, a team like Tampa Bay. That was just great down there. It'll be an even playing field. And if we get back and play, the fun part about it is, as a sports fan, you're going to see one of these teams that was out of the playoffs go on some kind of crazy run. It's an absolute mortal lock that that's going to happen. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for the game, but it's certainly enough to tick enough other teams off that played all year that were safely in the playoffs. But I guarantee if a Montreal or New York gets in, or somebody like that, Chicago, there's as much a chance as one of those teams going on a run as a team that had a lot of success in the regular season already this year.
No, I totally agree with that. That's a great point, because the Bruins were playing well. I mean, you looked around the league. There were some teams that were really playing great hockey. And you mentioned the Flyers as one of those, and they're the young team that not a lot of people thought would gel this year, particularly with a young goaltender. But what about goaltenders who were hot? And obviously, there's no way you can sit around for 3 months and then say, yeah, we're going to pick up right where we left off. Because we always talk about momentum in baseball. It's a next-day starting pitcher. What about momentum for goaltenders and hot players and guys who are on unbelievable scoring runs?
No, that's gone. That's out the window totally. I mean, you can't sell me on the fact that we were doing so great and that you're just going to flip a switch and it'll come back. Maybe it does. And some teams will look really good. Some teams will look really bad. But I think the chemistry that you try to build during the year is in a case like this, is a hopeful one for a team like the Flyers who are just kind of starting to glue themselves together a little bit. So this will be a team that'll be together for some time. I don't know necessarily in terms of goaltending if there's. I think it's a good thing that Carter Hart is a young guy and he'll have those legs. I think he'll be a little bit more jump than say a guy like Tuukka Rask in Boston. That probably had a momentum, and the coach had a schedule set up for him that worked well for him because he's an older guy. But I give the nod to a guy like Hart for being younger, but to be able to recreate that chemistry to get back to where you were. It's the same guys as playing and getting to the Stanley Cup final, winning the Cup, taking 3 months off, and then coming back to training camp. You're not the same team because mentally you just haven't been in touch that long. You've been completely detached. So it's how quick you can get that back.
Hey, Chris, how do you think these guys will react to sort of the quarantining, the sequestering, staying in a certain, area and hotel and, always sort of being monitored to where they just can't have their own free reign on an off day, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what, guys? If you just tell them your paycheck depends on it, and they'll be nice and well-behaved staying in the hotel.
But if you're in Jersey, you can't go to Rexy's anymore after the game. I mean, that's a big problem. You know what I'm talking about?
I think the beaches apparently are open. I don't know. I mean, I'm more one to let's get back to life here, but I understand there's people we have to protect in this, and one thing, guys, I think the biggest thing, every week I look for a new topic to write on, and I think the biggest thing right now for fans is we probably are going to not see live sports as fans for a little bit here. That seems to be the one common denominator coming out the other end of it. No fans without no sports, or sports without fans we can live with, but no sports at all. I just think it's just going to be treacherous moving forward for everybody. So that's why I think it's important, even if we get back to put a finality on this to make a conclusion. I think it's really, really important for all three of the sports that are out right now.
And
the big ones.
Who's really going to be affected the most? All of those athletes who took money to do those Hulu has live sports commercials, and they kept throwing more money at them for them to promote Hulu. Those guys can't do that anymore. So they have to give their money back if Hulu doesn't have live sports.
It's a great point. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's been a heck of a time to get sports on, and that is funny too. But yeah, who knows? I mean, if you wrote a check right at the time of the pandemic started, you're probably not going to get that money back, I doubt.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Chris Therien, we know him as Bundy. You know him as Bundy. And we want hockey back. We want everything back. I already brought sexy back, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Right. That's back.
That's right.
At CTherian6 on Twitter.
CTherian6. I think that was his number that he wore, if I'm not mistaken. Bundy, good to talk to you, man. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, bro.
Thanks, Chris.
Anytime. Great show. Thanks, fellas. Take care.
That's a hockey segment right there.
Yeah.
We covered everything. Poutine, Celine Dion. Where are you getting that in a hockey segment?
I know.
Nowhere else. Stick around. We're coming back. More stuff, including calls.
I think my favorite
Motivation.
My favorite comment about the food. Let me see if I can go back up to this. Hold on, it was quite a while ago. Where is it? It was about the beaver tails.
Oh, the beaver, yeah.
There was a
good eats, man.
There was a comment.
Actually, beaver tails. They were eating the beaver tails.
No.
I thought they cut the tail off a beaver and then slapped it up and flipped it and rubbed it down a little bit. Put a little,
Where
tenderizer in there.
It was such a great comment. It was something about hookers and beaver tails.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it was on the Twitch stream, though.
Yeah, it was on the Twitch stream, and I'm trying to find it now.
What guy doesn't want to have a? Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah, that's one. It's B Mitch 88.
B Mitch 88. I enjoy a hooker's beaver tail as much as the next guy.
Beaver, nice beaver.
And that wasn't just a Flyer segment at all.
No. It was we talked nothing but good quality hockey.
Matt Reese won. I think I'll have a vodka cran tonight.
Dude, make it 2. Absolutely. You're not getting hookers and beaver tail knowledge on any other show.
His description of it, I totally want a beaver tail now.
What is a beaver? I'm seriously now.
It's a pastry.
It's a pastry?
Yeah, so it's a pastry with cinnamon and sugar and lemon and all sorts of ooey gooey goodness, which is right up your alley and something that we haven't had. We haven't had normal bread or pastry in how long now, Tony?
3 months. March 2nd.
Man.
March, April, May. Almost 4 months.
I have such a wooly for a beaver tail right now.
Hey, as long as it's a nice beaver. Remember the movie Naked Gun with Priscilla Presley when she's walking up into the attic with the fold down stairs, and he says, "Oh, nice beaver," and then she hands down a stuffed beaver because it looks like he's looking up her dress, and it's just great stuff. Man.
Oh, little boys!
I could use a bear claw. I'm a bear claw addict, but I've never had a beaver tail. I guess they're similar to bear claws.
What's the place in Reading Terminal Market that we go to?
The Byler's.
Byler's has the most amazing.
I got it right here.
Cinnamon buns with nuts in it, and when it's warm out of the oven, and they have like sort of a cream cheese frosting on it. Oh my goodness gracious!
Okay. As long as Robin doesn't hand me another inaccurate break.
He and I were discussing it. I thought we were on the same page, and I thought what he was telling me, but he did not explain it correctly.
Who's that?
So I get the bump when it should have been Krause, damn it.
You handed me the wrong information.
I handed you the information
all you had
that
to say
he
was the
gave
same
me.
out. All you had to say was the same hard out.
Well, why didn't he tell me that?
You changed it by 4. You put me off 31 seconds.
He did not tell me that. He told me 56:30. Ugh. Damn it.
I'm just a
shoe fly.
I'm just a pilot on this plane here.
TMCD 215 Pennsylvania Dutch shoe fly pie. It's too sweet.
There's no such thing as too sweet.
I mean,
it's got molasses in it.
Yeah, there's so much sweetness in it. Like it just makes your mouth just go. Too sweet. A chain sanitary. If I look up a woman's dress and say "nice bear claw," is that a compliment?
Absolutely.
I don't know. Nice camel toe. I don't think so.
Nice clam.
Nice clam.
Nice beaver.
Hubba. So long, keto. No, we're still doing it. It's working. We've just both hit a plateau, which is very frustrating because we're not moving enough.
I actually ran around an entire block this morning.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Really? Why didn't you tell me?
Because the trash guys were out there and there was trash on the street. So I picked it up, and instead of just walking, I had a bottle and a can that these guys dropped on the street, didn't pick up. There was actually a branch from the tree that the trash truck hit and broke
right
down.
Out here.
I picked it up and put it on the side. It was in the middle of the street.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
One thing about this program, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen and use as directed but avoid excessive use, that there are some bumps in the road up and down, Harry. That's what happens when you do live radio.
Yeah, it's live. You know, that's what
we'll do it live. We'll do it live, late breaking, and the sensation of the people.
Yeah.
That's why I think people also enjoy watching and listening through the Twitch app and being in the Twitch chat room during
Chat room?
Chat room.
William Shatner in there?
No, the chat room's down the hall. Okay, it's got a bidet. That's where you go to chat. Okay,
come on, Harry.
Jeez.
But there's Twitch chat room because then you can join the conversation during the commercial breaks.
Exactly right. So we people think we just shut it down and go outside and have a cigarette. First of all, we don't smoke.
Right.
Secondly, the show never ends here. It's always going on.
I know. You've been doing a show now since when? About 9 this morning?
Exactly.
You were out telling me you're going after the trash man?
I wasn't yelling at them. I pick up the trash that falls into the street when they throw the trash bag in, and then somehow somebody didn't tie it too tight and stuff falls. I don't blame those guys. It's not their job.
No.
People are slobs. But anyway, enough about that. So I took a run around the block, not to go catch them, because they were putting like sofas in there from down the street. You know, they put sofas in trash cans.
Really?
Yeah.
Trash trucks, you mean?
Trash trucks. The truck guys pick up the sofas and they put it in there. And then those things get scrunched in there.
Yeah.
They bring it down and
then they crush it.
And here in South Philadelphia, because the streets are so small, they don't have the big trash trucks. These are sort of like the smaller mini versions.
Exactly right. Anyway, enough about trash. We're not talking trash on this show. We're talking facts. We're talking NBA, baseball. We told you earlier in the show about there's lots of bitching, not enough pitching or hitting with baseball players who are now, many of them, steadfastly saying, I don't want to do this. So I don't know how baseball is going to get everybody on the same page. You know, sooner or later the union will say, hey, if we want to do this, everybody's got to agree.
Right.
We can argue about the pay and the splits and all that stuff. But you can't have players actively ripping the sport and saying, I'm not going back, it's not worth it to me, and think that fans are going to say, yeah, I get it. I'd do the same thing. Because for the most part, fans will always be on the player's side more than they are on management side, right? Because the players are the product. Regardless of the sport, people watch the players. They don't watch the GMs and the owners and, you know, the hangers-on in luxury boxes who just want to be a piece of the action.
You know, I'm sure that Blake Snell. You know, there's a lot of other players out there with a similar mindset.
Absolutely, they're not just coming forward. Well,
right.
I don't think he called a news conference. Somebody asked him a question.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you're right. The NBA did that secret polling of the players. I guarantee you a lot of them, especially on teams that aren't going to make it to the playoffs or have no chance of winning, why would they want to go back, right?
Right.
But they have to go back. If one team goes back, they all have to go back. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Meanwhile, you know, we have weekend sports, Harry. UFC already did their second card. NASCAR, Sunday, Darlington, South Carolina, the 400-mile race. And you see how they're going to decide it. They're not going to have any practice rounds. They're not going to do any trial runs, time trials. They're just going to pick the people in order. The drivers will be in the order of points. Owners' points will determine the starting lineup.
Okay.
So that's how they'll do it. There won't be any normal qualifications. And then no practices. And then the field starts. And then after lap 30, at lap 30, which is halfway through the 400 miles of the race, they'll stop it right there. They will actually have everybody stop and then reset and make adjustments in the middle of the race to see how things stand. Because remember, they're driving 400 miles. So at 200 miles, which is 20 laps, or I think it's 20 laps, they're going to stop the race. And then the other interesting part here is Ryan Newman's going to be back for the first time since that horrible accident at Daytona way back in early February. Remember that? Everybody didn't think he was going to make it.
Right.
That was one of the ugliest accidents you'll ever see.
That was awful.
Not only did Ryan Newman go to the hospital, he was out in like record time. Everybody thought this guy was cooked. So Ryan Newman will be back behind the wheel on this Sunday down in Darlington, South Carolina. And Saturday, all 18 teams in the Bundesliga, Harry. Bayern Munich, if you're scoring at home, leading the return with 55 points atop the standings in the Bundesliga. Now, will you get up Saturday morning, watch a little soccer?
Yeah, I think that's on Fox. I think they have the Bundesliga.
Yes, they do.
And I've actually caught a couple of those games, in the past. It's good stuff.
Now, who's Franz Beckenbauer playing for these days, Harry? It's been a while since I've watched the Bundesliga. No, I'm kidding. I just know all my great legends from the past. Harry.
Right.
Is there a greater... Robin, you're a soccer aficionado with the Dutchies and all those people. By the way, the Dutchies gone back, or are they too soft?
No, they have been permission to go back in a restricted way as well.
When are they going to go back? When they feel like it? When the weed gets delivered up to the buildings?
Yeah, because that's all they do.
Yeah.
And what about the hookers? Will they bring the red light district to the facilities to keep these guys occupied? I need to know about the Dutch league, Robin. We know the Bundesliga. We know that the EPL's coming back in a couple of weeks, and they're going to crank it up again. We also know that Florida has the UFC. They got 2 golf tournaments coming up this weekend. You've got the first match down there.
Yeah, it's the tailor-made match.
Tailor-made?
They're all tailor-made guys, those 4 guys. Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, Matthew Wolff. And then the week after is the Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning against Phil and Tom Brady.
Also in Florida.
Correct.
Now, the interesting thing is that we've got other development situations. You got this. I saw Chase Daniel trending this morning.
Yeah, why was that? I'll
tell you in a second. But let's go to Trevor.
Okay.
Trevor's up there in the 203. Or is it the 213? It's the 203.
It's the 203.
I got my hose. I got hose in different area codes, but I can't forget them.
It's tough to keep track.
It really is, especially during the pandemic. What's going on up there, Trevor?
We got developing news. Harry, I hope you have your golf clubs ready. The golf courses that's known as Longshore is opening up tomorrow.
Is that right?
At sunrise.
Beautiful.
So Connecticut, wait a minute. Connecticut is actually starting to ease some restrictions and open up golf courses?
Really?
Yeah. Like the Silvermine Golf Club is near me. They are opened and stuff.
Yeah.
The one in Westport that I usually go do my run at every day, they are opening up on Friday.
You got any connections at TPC River Highlands?
I could see what I could do.
Now, forget about the golf courses. What about the gyms, the Soul Cycle? Because we're seeing gymnasiums are opening in a lot of places, and they're using all the necessary techniques, even though they're not allowed. There's one guy in Belmar, New Jersey, here right over the river, says he's opening up, and they want to come and get him. He's got all the safety precautions in place. He moved all his equipment around. So what's happening at the gym you work at where you have the Soul Cycle classes?
Play that music again. I'll give you more developing news from the LA Fitness.
This is breaking news. This isn't a, whatever you call it, music. This is not music. This is an important alert to the audience.
This is more important to the LA Fitnesses. They are they're cleaning the gyms up first. Then they're moving all the cardio equipment most of them have, so they got 6 feet of social distancing into the basketball court. I know people who play hoops are going to be unhappy about it, but we got to do what you got to do to open up. But I have not been given a date, but I got an email with a video from the LA Fitness Corporation, and they're telling us that's what they're doing. They're saying soon. I don't know when soon. I'm targeting sometime in June, early July, when baseball's opening back up.
Now, is Connecticut going to remove the sand from the skate park in South Windsor? That people are asking. Griff 16 checks in, as you are our official Connecticut, not New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, but just Connecticut area correspondent.
There's also sand at the Campos Beach skate park as well. They got to remove 2 things of sand.
So they did the same thing in California.
Oh yeah, they did it everywhere. No, Connecticut's that's.
I didn't know there were a lot of skater bras up in Connecticut, Tony.
Bra or bros? Are they bras up there or bros, man? What are they?
You can go with either one. Perfectly acceptable. So I have not seen any skater boys at all lately these days. So I'll give you that little update. Tony, thanks for keeping me entertained during this pandemic. I appreciate you guys.
Well,
I'll send you a bottle of wine.
Thank you. We have people all over the country who are conduits. You're our correspondents. Sort of like TMZ, except we don't pay people to give us information or send us videos. You know what I'm saying, Aaron?
We're getting a lot of gym updates from all over the country today.
Not Jim Dandy, and not Jim Beam either. Stick around. Much more still ahead in the next hour. We're going to go out west to San Diego. I'm looking for a Charger fan.
He had a great first appearance on the show. Can he back it up?
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure to put on people. You saw what happened to Jose yesterday.
I know.
Not everybody can handle the pressure of being on this program. Stick around. We're coming back.
A lot of people weighing in on Jose's performance.
I know.
Last night on Twitter.
I know.
A lot
We
of
gave him the L.
Oh.
We gave him the L. I mean, we're tough graders here.
But he was handicapped that day. We need to set up a set schedule. A
Jack in the
routine
back
for him.
says, send Jack wine, too. Now, Harry, did you open your package?
No, not yet. We need to do that next.
Yeah, who's this, Clarky Bob?
Yes.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler plays the tailor-made ball, dude, okay?
Now, don't be ripping Clarky Bob.
No,
He's our correspondent
saying,
up there.
He's saying bad knowledge. He plays the tailor-made ball. It's a tailor-made event, these guys.
See, Harry, now you got to get all uppity now.
I am uppity.
That's
and I'm proud
that's
of
a
it.
given.
Yeah.
Jim Dandy. Oh, you know what I need? I needed water. I'm down here with no water, Robin.
Give me some water. You need the Andy Reid drop. Well, you don't have that one? That's a great one. Give me some water.
Anybody need water?
No, I'm good.
AJ and San Antonio. On a scale of 1 to 10 regarding Jose's performance, 10 being great, 1 being awful, Jose's performance was a McMullen.
Wow.
Wow.
So what is that, a 4?
I don't know.
What is
Yeah,
that?
what is that? What is a McMullen?
Man. This Bo Russia Dortmund team, I like them. In Germany. That's good soccer in Germany, man.
I love it. I love it. I love European soccer. It's got a good cadence. You sit back. Well, there's not going to be
There's
fans.
not going to be any fans.
No,
That's
They should
just going to suck.
They should recreate just a chance. They
I
should
know.
just have the chance
Maybe
playing.
they will.
Not even that one. It's not even that. It's
Yeah.
just there's a lot of rhythmic ones that are really good.
There's
You know, a lot of the American crowds are trying to pretend that their soccer crowds do that stuff.
Right.
They don't do it the way the Europeans
No,
do
no,
that.
no.
Euro trash soccer's the best. I'm sorry, man.
Bayer Leverkusen. Schalke.
Yeah, McMullen's a mulligan on the golf course.
Feyenoord.
That's exactly right.
Ajax.
Not Jim Neighbors, no. And not Jim
So regarding the Dutch had originally shut it down, their season, but then when all the other European soccer leagues were like, well, maybe we're going to play after all, they're
So what are they doing? Are they going to play?
Well, they haven't totally. There's now signs of them maybe deciding that. they're
Oh,
gonna
how
play
nice
again.
of them to
Yeah.
vacillate. Who are they, the French?
Yes.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
Thirsty Throwback Thursday. That's all you really need to know, especially in these trying times there. You got to keep track of the days, and we have them. They're not all alcohol related.
No.
Just most of them are. Well, like Tuesday's not. It's Taco Tuesday
Right.
or
Tito's Tuesday.
Tito's Tuesday. Yeah, that's alcohol related.
Yeah.
Yes, Rob.
Speaking of alcohol, I don't know if it is, but Harry did get a box.
Yeah, that's right. We got to do a mail call segment this hour, too. And our good buddy out there, Scott Kaplan in San Diego.
Mail time.
He's going to join us. So we're going to take a phone call here in a second. But Harry's got a box. Is it heavy?
No, it's not very heavy.
Can you shake it? Is it ticking? Harry, you got to wait till the mail song's over.
I know. I'm just getting it ready.
He can prep. He's making sure so that the segment doesn't take too long.
I'm thinking I know where this is coming from.
But it's not an Amazon box, though, right?
No.
It looks like it was mailed, what is it, UPS?
Priority mail.
That's the United States
This
Postal
is an
Service.
example of you don't have to do everything through Amazon. You can also
Exactly.
send us stuff just regular.
Yeah, the Postal Service is still operating.
Yeah.
Still
But let's go.
We
and
have
say-
a lot of people that listen to this show that work for
Absolutely. What's in the damn box, Harry? Let's see.
This is from Clearwater. So is this from Dean?
Well,
Is
let's
my-
see who else. We
is
got
my
a
question.
lot of friends in Clearwater. Now, what do you have there now? What's in the box, Harry?
All right, this says
What's in the box?
50 Shades of something.
This is 50 Shades of Pink Foundation. Is this a dildo? Oh, no, I know what this is. I'm opening it up.
Is this
It's a golf ball. It's a foundation, and it's a golf ball with a pink. It's
from like a
What's the name of it?
charity kind of
it's
thing.
like a cancer charity.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
breast
awesome.
cancer.
Nice.
That's awesome.
They're not pink
Okay.
balls. The balls are white, but the charity is 50 Shades of Pink Foundation.org.
Yeah, and it's got the logo on there.
Anytime I think 50 Shades, I think of those awful movies
Yeah,
with
the 50
Don
Shades.
Johnson's daughters in them, right?
She's hot though.
She's all right.
Yeah, I like her.
I wouldn't say she's okay. I wouldn't say she's like,
See,
oh my God.
But
hot.
see, she's offspring of Melanie Griffith, who is really smoking hot.
And nuts at the same time.
Yes.
That's
So
a good
you know what
combination.
that means.
So Harry's
right?
got 3 golf balls from D. What else is in the box?
Now this is wrapped
Actually, you
in a
know
lot of
what?
styrofoam.
I just realized something.
Is that wine?
The Lima has a lot of resemblance to Melanie Griffith.
Ah.
I'm thinking that there's a
this is
reason out
Grey Goose, Tony. It's a fifth.
I knew it was the bottles.
It's a
I didn't
fifth
feel
of Grey Goose.
I didn't feel the bottle. I didn't feel how heavy the box was. I asked if it felt like it was liquid in there.
Well, we're going to have to add this to the shelf because we
just
emptied
in
the
time.
stateside
Just in time for tomorrow. This is like an
Thank
emergency.
God.
This is like an emergency delivery.
Right.
Except it wasn't airdropped in here by helicopter. It was brought in
There
by
it
the
is.
U.S. mail.
Grey
baby.
Goose. Thank
Grey
you,
Goose.
Dean.
That's good stuff right there, man. Even though we're not big on the French. But
Pat,
we do
can
like
we- Oh, we're big on the
No,
French.
we're big.
Yeah.
I love Grey Goose.
So Pat Canine just chimed in. See you tomorrow.
Oh,
folks."
yeah. No question. I mean, I was thinking about that today driving in.
Yeah.
I'm like, will Kaneen be here today? And I'm like, no, it's not Friday.
See you tomorrow, fellas. Oh, how nice is that, Clarky Bob?
That's awesome.
Hopefully it's from the Unabomber. See, Harry, you got
Yeah.
people pissed off at you.
Good.
Great people all over in flyover country where they're back in the bars in Wisconsin, in Minnesota. People want to get out, Harry.
I know. I don't blame them.
And you usually tell them to all the time.
Get out! Get out!
Now, let's go to our buddy down. Speaking of Tampa and the Tampa Bay area, let's go to our boxing aficionado, the young man, Marcus from Weak Sauce Radio. What's going on down there, man? Marquise?
Tony, Harry, what's going on, guys? Pretty good, actually. Nice, breezy day here in Florida. Just waiting for everything else to open up.
Now, you have action down there. You got UFC in Jacksonville, north of you, and people in the Tampa Bay area. Everything's open. Not everything's open, but the governor welcomes everybody down there. Now, have you noticed an uptick in traffic outside and people outside doing their thing?
Yes and no. There's always traffic because I live in a two-lane part of town. But the actual business and stuff-wise, some of them are still closed on my end. There's a little few things here and there, but it's getting there. I'm thinking, guys, by Memorial Day, it's going to be back to status quo here.
Is Carol Baskin's Tiger Ranch open?
I have not been informed that that's open to the public yet, unfortunately.
Well, the good thing, we just got a quick note from TMCD 215. Thank God that the vodka was an airdrop from Wilson Good. And yesterday. It didn't arrive yesterday.
That's right.
It could have been a really explosive situation
would've been
here
a mess,
in the studio.
Tony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Marquise, I thank you for writing the little column because we were talking boxing last week with Damon Feldman, and there was a controversy about his brother's bare knuckles fighting situation, and it turned out to be true that Shannon Briggs and Mike Tyson, that deal was offered to Mike Tyson. I don't know if he's accepted it or not, the $20 million bare knuckle fight. But it looks like the story that we were talking about on this show, that we put 2 and 2 together, which didn't really take a lot of insight. But now all of a sudden, a week later, I'm seeing all these columns about Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson actually do get together for Tyson Part 3 with these two guys, where, of course, as you know, Mike Tyson has already lost the first 2 fights and lost an ear at the same time in the first one. Is this going to happen? You're a boxing guy. You know the ins and outs of this business. What are you hearing?
From everything I've gathered around, guys, is that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on the exhibition tip with Holyfield and Tyson. The big issue with Tyson getting back in this ring again, guys, is twofold. One, as we all know, he's 53. Two, I think people actually 3 things. Two, he does this podcast every so often. I think it's called Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. So if there were to be sanctions, that's going to have to go away. And 3, also with Tyson just in general, a lot of folks forget back in 2007, one of the saddest days in boxing, when he lost to Kevin McBride in the ring.
Yeah,
So
05.
It was 05.
Yeah.
It's just like, oof. So, we all, everyone in the boxing community saw it hit the mitts, in practice last week, 2 weeks ago at this point now, and people are like, oh, well, look at Tyson go. But it's like, as the great Allen Iverson said, we're talking about practice, man.
Now, but you mentioned about sanctions. This is going to be a charity fight, so
Right,
are they
it's
going to
only
have
gonna
to
be like
go?
3 rounds
Do
or
they have to go through athletic commissions and all that? Obviously, they're going to have to do testing. But I'm saying the point is, this is not going to have to. We don't have to worry about the Las Vegas Boxing Commission or some other corrupt boxing commission that's trying to step in and poo-poo this thing, as we've seen over the years.
Oh, no. If it's an exhibition, pretty much all of those bets are off. They can just, kiss hands and shake babies and as is, and as is at like the car dealership, and just get it done and get it over with. And I think that's the route it's going to have to be, actually, because if memory serves me well, the reason Holyfield stopped fighting actually about 9 years ago was he wasn't able to pass physicals as well. So that's going to be the route forward in exhibition stuff. I'm intrigued with it on my end because Tyson's name has been all over the place, and he was announced last night on the wrestling thing with AEW. He's going to be on their pay-per-view, apparently. So he's making the rounds being seen. So there's more to this than I think, actually. But I want to talk to you guys also that it was broken somewhat kind of yesterday, and it's still developing on their end. We may actually have live boxing again in Vegas on Tuesday, June 9th, which brings back 2 things. One, live boxing, and, of course, Tuesday night fights.
Yep. Yeah, that's something that, but again, there won't be any people there, just like the UFC fights and everything else that's going on.
But speaking of UFC with Tyson, Dana White doesn't want Mike Tyson to come back. He's begging him not to come back and do it.
Even for a celebrity fight for charity?
Apparently so. He says, I love Mike Tyson. I'm begging him not to fight. This is just came out in the last day. So apparently, maybe there's something where Dana White wants to have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he wants it to be self-serving. Like, don't come back with them. I got a better event for you.
But Tyson's not going to come back and do MMA stuff. The guy who was really into that was Herschel Walker. Remember when he came back? He was serious, and he trained,
and he's in shape.
Absolutely,
like big time shape.
I mean, still incredible.
Yeah.
But Mike Tyson, and the one thing about Tyson and Holyfield, they're not going to come back like George Foreman did. Or George Foreman was never really chiseled. I mean, these guys are legitimate athletes. They're still working hard. This isn't going to be a butterbean kind of fiasco. Those fights that were just basically a couple of fat guys in a ring just throwing hands at each other.
But speaking of butterbean, you think we do get boxing coming back. I am missing back in the old days, guys, in the early 2000s, late 90s, the greatness of people putting on their backs tattoos of GoldenPalace.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you posted that picture on your Twitter feed. That's great. GoldenPalace.
That was a thing for a while.
Oh,
back then. Yeah.
That was way before. No, it was right around NASCAR. Obviously, started that thing, and so then you saw bowlers, and then you saw. Cornhole guys have all the patches on. NASCAR cars have always had all the different advertising. But that was the first. But you haven't seen much of that lately. Did they poo-poo that, where boxers are wearing like advertising on their back with tattoos?
I don't remember being just poo-poo. It just kind of dissolved. I don't know really what happened with that. A lot of them are putting advertising on their trunks now. Like a lot of club show boxers like your local mechanic's place or up there in your neck of the woods, Rocco's Auto Body under sports trunks. But I haven't seen anything like being sanctioned or just completely kiboshed on it. It's really interesting on that.
Rocco's Auto Parts, Rocco's Body Shops, man. That's good knowledge right there, bro.
We need to get some fighter to put Tony Bruno show with Harry Mays on.
Exactly, yeah. And they have to have it really tattooed, not henna.
Right.
We will not settle for a henna tattoo or some poorly painted slop job on the back. It's got to be well done. It's got to be a Joe Krause production where it's perfect and it looks, and everybody says, "Wow, screw this fight." I want to hear more about Tony Bruno and Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211. And SB Nation Radio, yo. Marquise, great to talk to you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There he is. We got a little boxing in the mix here, too, Harry.
Now, according to Dean, who was nice enough to send the Grey Goose for us, for me, but it's for us. The 50 Shades of Pink Foundation golf balls, he says, are they're ladies' balls, so they're lower compression, so I'll be able to hit the ball farther.
So you want to play with those?
No, I'm going to give them to the Lima, actually.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah. Who makes them, though? Are they
just,
Titleist?
He's just trying to rip.
Are they tailor-made? Or
I don't know. No, I don't know who makes them.
Who makes the ball?
They don't have a brand name on it.
Is this a Bobo ball?
No.
Ladies always play with my balls. I don't play with ladies' balls. I'm sorry. There's a line that I draw when I'm out on the links. And just like
you leave the lady balls alone.
Just like Pat McAfee, I'm a public golf course kind of guy.
You're a Muni guy?
I'm a Muni guy. I'm hanging out with the real people, all right?
Okay.
I'm not getting my ass caught out there and putting my life on the line.
You're just getting your ass out there.
I'm just getting my ass out there.
You're walking the course.
And I'm going to grip it and rip it. I'm going to pull my own bag.
Right.
I don't need no stinking caddies, no carts, none of that she crap, bourgeois stuff. I'm a real man, and I'm not even 40. When we come back, Scott Kaplan, speaking of men, who's over 40, out in San Diego, where everything is still shut down.
It might be shut down for years.
Exactly. They'll never be able to go out and say, I'm looking for somebody on the beach in Del Mar. He's going to join us next. Much more still ahead. Calls later on. Tony and Harry will have a update on waiting for a vaccine. You know, that's the thing we're hearing.
Yeah.
I have one creature on Earth that is capable of waiting for a vaccine. We will have that update for you. Plus a horse bleep update as well. That's all still ahead. It's Tony and Harry, Thirsty Thursday.
Clarky Bob, yes, Riddle is adjusting to his new medication.
Where is he? He hasn't been
he's
down
upstairs. No, he's not as.
No fault, Walt. Rachel
better,
Levine
thank you.
has lady balls. Oh my God.
So we diagnosed. My diagnosis turned out to be correct that he was hypothyroid. Had hypothyroidism, and so now he's on thyroid medication, and it's like he's a new cat.
Yes, he's back to normal.
He's back to normal. Thank God. It was a long run with him, man. Now if we could only get medication like that for Tony, we'd be good.
Yeah, Dana White, please don't do it.
Wow. Why?
He was on some show, Sid and Tim.
Not Mel and Tim, who did backfield in motion. Remember that?
Hey, speaking of balls, you saw this news, right?
Yes. I have it right down here.
Okay.
They're switching balls. Speaking of ball, talking about balls.
Speaking of balls, talking
No,
about
it's Tom
balls.
Maloney was like talking about balls.
Did you need that little pick me up?
I
did.
Yeah. Thank
I
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
I
you
did.
very much. Don Carl, Tony off his meds is a fun Tony. I'm not on meds.
No, it's not. Tony, you are on meds.
Oh, I'm not. I didn't even take my vitamins today.
I know. Maybe that's why I'm feeling so bleh.
Did you take vitamins, Robin?
No, I didn't get I did not prepare them for us. It is my fault. Can I give myself a bumpty bump?
Yes. You have one job, Robin.
One job.
One job.
If I only had one job, it would be great.
What do you mean? Well, I said it was for charity. I said the Tyson Holyfield thing would be for charity. I don't know what he's talking about. Will I be able to get a henna tattoo on the Wildwood Boardwalk this year?
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, they'll be open. They're going to open.
Yeah, but are they going to do things like henna tattoos?
There's no needles involved, Robin. It's a stinking
But there is touch
stencil.
involved. Touch. Yes. Scott Kaplan from sided.co. Yeah. He needs to change his... Why wasn't he able to get .com?
How do you feel about .co?
.co? I think everybody does it incorrectly.
Because I can't get on for McMullen for football 24/7. I can get 24/7 I can get 24/7 spelled out .com.
Yeah.
But 24/7, 247, I can only get .co.
What about any of the other ones? I think it's .co. I think is more difficult than
Net.
.live. Have you checked out Live? 247.live would be great.
We had .live.
Yeah, we
once,
had
so-
.live. I think it's easier to hear because you get confused.
Because isn't there an something.co? The stadium, Oakland Stadium, was named after it. Something.co.
Yeah, everybody assumes that you just left off the M. You know, there's certain people I wish that we had the same energy, that you could just tap into that.
Like
Scott's, Scott's one of them. Scott's always full of energy.
Who? I'm not full of energy, Robin?
Not always.
Have you noticed me do a segment where I sounded tired or out of juice?
I am not.
Or low energy?
I'm not talking about during the show. I'm just talking
You have to
about
pace yourself,
life
Robin.
in general.
How do you know? Are you around Scott 24/7?
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
Very, very funny. Jordan Hall from NBC Sports Philly, who covers the Flyers. We just had Chris Therien on last hour. He has a picture of Alain Vigneault, the Flyers coach, former Ranger coach, been around. And it says, "How many martinis today, Alain?" And he's got 2 fingers up. Is that wrong to do if you're a reporter covering the team, that kind of a cheap shot? Then he says, in all seriousness, during year 1 in Philly, Vigneault had the Flyers projected to finish with their most wins since 1979-1980. So he did find a picture of him, and then how many martinis.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sensitive like that.
No.
To some people, you're a guy who likes to talk about martinis.
Absolutely.
I prefer my drinks coming out of a nice glass with an umbrella in it at Del Mar Beach in San Diego. Show me your martinis.
Are you saying that you like frou-frou drinks?
No, it doesn't have to be frou-frou.
Well,
although California's been pretty frou-frou lately
Yeah.
with the governor shutting everything down.
Most drinks that have an umbrella are somewhat of a frou-frou drink.
No, usually I have those only when I'm like in a tropical island, so I can take a picture of it and shove it up everybody else's.
Maybe Catalina Island off the coast of San Diego.
No, it's off the coast of Santa.
Or is it Corona Island? What's that island out?
No, Santa. Robin and I have been to.
What's the one
Catalina.
off of
Catalina Island?
Is that off L.A.?
Yes.
All right. Well, then what's the Coronado? Is it
Coronado
Off
Beach.
San Diego.
Yeah, that's
we got
the
a
one
man
I'm
who's
talking
right
about.
there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a Coronado Beach
There it
hotel.
is.
Let's go down to San Diego now with a man who's probably in the shadows of all of those places, the great Scott Kaplan. Scott, are you allowed on the beach down there yet, or are you still locked inside?
No, I'm on the beach. The beach.
I don't hear any water. I want to hear the ocean. I want to hear the waves lapping on the shores.
Okay, hold on. Listen to this.
I want to hear it. Oh, you're a liar, man. See, that's the kind of fake news and stuff that we will not tolerate. Because when I used to do my hits on KNBR in San Francisco with Gary Radnich, and I was on a beach, I would actually take the phone to the waves so you can hear that I was on the beach. So you're lying then. Are you admitting right now that you just lied?
Yes.
All right, I'm just checking.
Yes, Your Honor.
But are you allowed? Let me get back to the original question. Are you allowed on the beach in San Diego?
Yes, we are, and let me tell you something. People are wearing masks and they're wearing gloves, and I don't want to wear a mask, but I will because I want to be respectful to everybody else. But I always feel like if I'm not wearing a mask and somebody's walking at me, they make sure they got their mask, and it's like, do they not want me to breathe near them? And it's like, oh no, maybe they just have something they don't want to give to you. So California, Tony, is one of these places where you got to balance life. You got to be a real man and walk the golf course and have a foo-foo drink with an umbrella in it. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I know that. I lived there for 10 years, 11 years actually, so I know. And again, I don't want to rip California. It's a great place. That's why there's so many people live there. But the bottom line is people don't know what the hell to do, and every day something's changing, and every hour something's changing. And so I said it before. I'm not going to say it anymore because I'm tired of saying it. I want to know what's essential and what's not essential. That's all. And the people who have been deemed non-essential are the ones who are pissed off.
I know. Like I just saw this lady on the news, right?
He goes, hey, I got a shoe store. I'd like to, sell some shoes. And so what? I can't have 4 or 5 people in my shoe store, but a couple hundred people can be in Costco all over each other right now. Explain that to me.
That's why people are angry.
Yeah. Correct. I mean, it's weird. Like downtown San Diego, people with American flags and beeping their horns like, set us free. I mean, I'm like, what's going on down there? But people want their businesses open. You know what people want in California, Tony, Harry, Robin? You know what people want? They want the gyms to be open. Because if you work out in a gym in San Diego or L.A., you're going back probably not even with gloves, just a little bit of hand sanitizer. Get me back in the gym. That's what Californians want.
Well, not all of them. I mean, you can go to Venice Beach, where I used to go there and flex for the ladies and get the tan going and work hard right there.
Really?
At Muscle Beach. Actually, Robin and I took some pictures of me working out at Muscle Beach years ago. I'm out there flexing with the boys and girls. Come on, man.
In his banana hammock.
And the banana hammock is the only way you should do it.
That's right.
You're not going out there with like board shorts. Nobody goes out and works out and flexes with board shorts, Harry, bro. What's the matter with you?
Lime green banana hammock.
Come on, man.
Rocking it.
No, he had the lime green slingshot.
He
had the slingshot on.
Now, he's the slingshot kind of guy. I mean, he's a good-looking man. He probably tans all the time, right? Do you do that stuff? Do you do the self-tanning, or do you go into the beds?
So, I have natural sunshine right in my backyard, with, like, palm trees and, like, I can just see the blue skies. And I'm home, man. I am self-quarantined. Even sun tanning, I'm self-quarantined.
It's a good job out of you, man.
Well, how are people...
What do you think about that?
I like it.
How are people reacting to that thing about Los Angeles being shut down till the end of the summer? I think till September.
I'll tell you this: people are freaking out with sports in this town. Like they're trying to figure out. Wait a second: are the Chargers and the Rams, who are supposed to open up the new Jerry world, the new Kroenke world of the NFL, are they not going to be able to play football in the state of California even without fans? Like, is this thing really shut down to the point where they may have to go take San Francisco and the Chargers and the Rams and move them to some other state to play these games? I mean, Tony, you actually said it. You said you're tired of saying it, but you said it. It seems like it's changing every 30 seconds. Like, hey, here's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, here's another. Yeah, let's do that too. I mean, nobody knows what's really going on here.
I agree, and that's and if you say this stuff now, you want people to die. That's the other thing about. Well, you just want people to die. How dare you? How dare you, Scott Kaplan? It's a matter.
Yeah,
of
listen, in my town, there are 13,000 residents in the city I live in. It's called Solana Beach. There are 7 reported cases of coronavirus. 13,000 people, 7 reported cases. I'm saying to myself, look, I'm 50 years old. I'm in very good health for a 50-year-old guy. I'd like to go back to my favorite place where they have concerts. I'd like to go back to my favorite beach where people are laying out. I'd like to be able to go into my favorite bar. And I'd like to be able to do it without a mask and gloves. And you know what? When there's 7 people and 13,000, I'm kind of willing to play those odds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that may sound arrogant. I don't mean it to. I really don't mean to sound like an ass, But, I really just want to get people back to life because, man, you guys know anybody that says this? Hey, I'm just better off on unemployment than going back to work.
They won't say it, but they'll sit at home and do it.
There's some people that are doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Like, I keep trying to say, some people say to me, they go, well, hey, that's the responsibility of the government, man, take care of the people. And then I say, okay, but hold on. We're Americans. We got to get back to work at some point. We don't just expect checks to show up in the mailbox. When they do, you're like, oh, okay. But we don't expect it. So we got to get back to work at some point. To get back to work, we're all going to have to go take our chances.
We take a chance every day. We, just like ABBA said, take a chance on me, and then Robin then pulls out the entire Mamma Mia soundtrack, and then I have to throw her outside for a couple of hours because she really, really irritates me because I loved ABBA. I used to love ABBA when they were singing. Mm-hmm. Then when they did these stupid songs, and they overplayed them and made those Mamma Mia movies.
Terrible.
Then I did a 360 or 180 on ABBA. Are you with me, Eric?
I'm with you. You should put that on sided.co, that argument.
I mean, seriously.
Are you out on ABBA?
Are you out on ABBA, Scott Kaplan? Take a side. Yes or no?
I'm in on ABBA. I'm with Miss Robin.
Yes.
I'm in on ABBA.
Yes.
I'm way in on ABBA. I'm in on Mamma Mia. I'm in on all of it. I'm in for a good stage show. I'm walking around dancing right now. Take a chance on me. Yeah.
Yes. I knew I liked him.
I hate to do it to you, Scott. I really, really, really. See what happens when you live in Southern California?
I'm telling you, Tony,
you
you're
get
right.
soft.
You get soft.
You warned
eat
me.
avocados.
I love avocados.
Every meal.
I eat avocados. I just don't do avocado toast.
Yeah, but are they avocados from Mexico?
Oh, actually, no. Robin has. I have a confession. Because
Yes.
last night, Robin and I were watching TV. It's
I
like
can't believe I didn't bring this up yet.
I'm flipping around through TV to see what movies are on.
What time at night?
This is like midnight.
Oh, jeez.
So at midnight, I'm flipping around, and there's a couple good movies on. But then all of a sudden, what you know? It started. Little Shop of Horrors came.
The
on.
movie.
The movie.
Oh yeah.
And the three African American women who are in the entire
I'm not
movie
saying
singing.
anything because he's flipping around, and all of a sudden I realize that the station hasn't changed. Like he hasn't changed the channel for a while, and it's still there.
They were singing about Skid Row.
10 minutes
later. I live
later-
in Skid Row here. Have you been outside at Skid Row? It's like they live in Skid Row. I live in Skid Row.
I wasn't going to say it, Tony.
10 minutes later, it's still on.
I went outside and started watering my plants again, trying to get Seymour and Audrey too to start growing.
And then I look over during one of the songs, Tony's foot is tapping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is your
Yeah.
foot tapping? Are you actually enjoying this musical?
And you know who the voice of the plant was in the movie version?
No.
That tests your knowledge here, Harry.
I never saw it.
You never saw Little Shop of Horrors?
No.
Oh man.
Harry?
Oh, who's the voice?
It is Levi Stubbs. You know who Levi Stubbs was?
I've heard that name, but I don't know who it is.
He was the lead singer of the Four Tops.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch.
Oh, wow.
Can't Help Myself. It was Levi Stubbs is the voice of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors. You're not getting that anywhere else. Because I said to Robin, I said, I know that voice. So Robin looked it up. She said, Levi Stubbs. I said, you don't know who Levi Stubbs is? And she didn't. And I didn't have my machine with me.
Well, now you got to give her one.
I have to give her one of those. Yes, I started singing Suddenly Seymour.
He did. I was.
You know why?
I was
Because it's one of the
shocked.
few musicals, because I grew up watching that stuff. It was one of the few musicals where all the songs, I liked all the songs. Most musicals that are on TV, there's like one or two songs that you know. It's like when you get an album and there's only two good sides, and then the rest of this album sucks. You want to really listen to the whole album?
See, I was always a whole album guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like B-sides and stuff,
Yeah.
Scott? Take a side. Would you buy an album just for two good songs, or would you have to, because back in the day when you could buy the singles or the album, I
Yeah.
would buy the 45s.
Right.
If the rest of the album sucked, I'm not buying the album. I just want the hits. Give me the hits. I don't want the fringe crap.
See, I liked all the liner notes and the stuff and like the little poster that you get with the album.
Now, this is Levi Stubbs.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
We're talking about great voices.
Wow. See, I bought the Queen. I bought the Queen Jazz album, which sucked. It had one good song on it, right? Because it had a poster of naked girls on bicycles inside the album.
Well, there you go.
And I
That's
bought
reason
the album
enough.
for that alone. And I was like 14 years old. It was like porn.
Yeah. Like Kiss, Love Gun.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, let's get it back to some semblance of whatever the hell we're going to do here, which is basically what we do every hour. But no, this is fun stuff because, again, I'm not a big musical fan. Fourth Floor Stall checks in on Twitter. Tony's foot was tapping last night, and he wasn't even in the airport bathroom stall. That's the most amazing part of it. Sorry, man. See what I have to deal with? See what I have to... But you know what? That's what makes this show fun because the audience can take shots at us. We can take shots at them. Now, Harry, by the way, is not Levi from Overbrook. No, Levi Stubbs was not the caller, sports talk radio caller in Philly. Levi from Overbrook.
He was a classic, that guy.
He's no longer with us, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't get confirmation on that. So tell us what else is going on down there. So there's no sports. There's no Padres. Are the Padres?
No.
Any of the Padre players saying, "I'm not going"? Anybody?
It's not worth it.
Anybody going Blake Snell on you out there?
Nobody that I've heard of yet. But, I mean, you're Manny Machado. You expected to make $30 million this year. They paid you to come here because, you weren't getting that money elsewhere, and you took that money and you ran. And now you're not playing baseball because coronavirus, and so I want my $30 million. That Blake Snell thing cracked me up. Like, hell no, I'm not playing. Hell no, I'm not playing. Like, I'm risking my life every time I'm out there. I'm like, yeah, I mean, okay, maybe. But, like, guys get hit and die on a baseball field like one in every, 5 billion baseball players, Yeah, dangerous. You're pitching a ball really fast, and there's a big, strong guy on the other end with a bat. He's trying to hit it at you. But come on, man, you're risking your life. You don't want to go out and play baseball and make money? You'd rather forego that money? I like his candor, I just think there's a lot of other ball players that are trying to get ready. They want to come back and play.
But the owner, Scott, set the players up by releasing all the statistics and the money and the revenue and what they get from TV, and then point out how much they won't get with no people in the stands. So they put the onus on the Players Association, and the Players Association is going to have to make a decision to accept or reject, like they did in '94, and say, no, we're not taking this deal, screw you. And then, who are the fans going to turn on? The players. They're going to blame the players for not wanting to go back and earn a lot of money to play a game in a shortened season.
That's right. That is perfect analysis. That is exactly right. The owners are going to turn this onto the players. The players will come off looking like rich jerks who don't want to play because they don't really love it. They only play for the money. And they will do that to these guys. That's exactly what they're going to do. But doesn't everybody want to play and make their share of the money? I mean, if you're baseball, you got to get yourself back on the field. See, you're the NFL. You've got plenty of time. You're going to come up with your game plan. And there's no doubt in my mind, the NFL doesn't miss a beat. It may not have 65,000 seats filled every weekend,
right,
but the NFL is going to play. Everybody else is trying to figure out what they're going to do. If you're baseball and you're already that sport that a lot of young kids are bored by, you cannot lose out on this season. You've got to find a way to come back and be on people's radars.
Yeah, I agree. Baseball and, of course, hockey. I mean, hockey's got to get back and put the playoffs together because, that's a sport that, it's a niche sport, and the people that love it, and they will always love it. But if they want to gain any kind of, other people under the tent for the playoffs like they typically do, they got to have it this year or people will forget about it.
That's why what golf is doing is so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That's why having these young superstars play this weekend, and even though, the PGA Tour has beaten Tiger and Phil and Tom and Peyton, the PGA Tour, by announcing early on that they already had a game plan, they'll get more fans of people who maybe weren't golf fans. Kind of the same way I think a lot of UFC, not everybody loves to see guys getting their faces punched in.
Right.
I actually like the street fight version better. Please tell me you guys have been talking about the street fight, right?
What, the bare knuckle stuff?
No, the fight with the guys in the neighborhood. You talk about living on Skid Row, Tony. I mean, the two guys in the neighborhood.
Oh,
the
guy with the roundhouse kick?
Yeah.
You see that video on Twitter.
The one that people are calling the one guy looks like, what's his face?
Yeah, like the actor.
Who's
Goldblum.
the actor?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
There's a guy, and then actually the video says Jeff Goldblum doesn't take crap from anybody, and he just tunes that guy.
And actually, Caliendo did his voice to the
did he
video.
do Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that
brilliant.
one. I've seen the video. Yeah, it's a guy with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Like some meth addict dude.
He gets his ass kicked.
And then he tries to take on a big Jeff Goldblum-looking dude, and the Jeff Goldblum-looking dude just tunes him like a cheap piano, baby.
So that I saw one of our colleagues in the radio business say, "Oh, good, finally live sports." I watched this video. I've been dying laughing for 2 days. At the very end of it, when the Jeff Goldblum dude delivers that final kick to the ribs of the guy without a shirt, and the guy without the shirt, he's like his rib cage just collapses, and he's just waddling away around the car, like, "Oh, damn, that hurt." He just set him up with a big right foot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
It was a gratuitous kick too, because the fight was already over.
And they didn't hear the bell. They couldn't hear the bell, and the referee didn't come in and wave it off.
There it is.
If you haven't seen the video, you have to watch.
It's a gratuitous kick.
And who is taping this, by the way? Who's taping two dudes who have the dukes up like they're really going to have a fight? But the one dude, I mean, his legs are The guy's got to be 6'4".
Yeah.
And the other dude with no shirt on.
Does the other guy have a chain wallet?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
You never fight a guy like Jeff Goldblum.
Now, would you call that a strapper?
Oh, yeah. That's a
That's a strap. Are they both strappers, or is the guy with
They were
chain
both
wallet?
strappers at the onset.
Now,
but
here's the
Goldblum-
gratuitous kick. Here
and
it
the
comes.
Jeff
He's just setting him up.
Boom! And the Jeff Goldblum guy, I'm telling you right now, it's a KO. That's a clean TKO. He tapped out. He didn't have a tap-out shirt or an affliction shirt on. That's what that guy, the only thing was missing was the guy with the no shirt on putting a tap-out shirt on.
I think Bob Menery did some play-by-play for this.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Right in the reps, Peter.
This is better than bum fights, too.
Yeah, it is.
Because the bum fights, both guys were out of it. At least these guys put up the dukes and looked like it was going to
one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who you never see a roundhouse kick land in a street fight.
Right.
No.
You know?
That's skills right there.
You never know who you're messing with, dude.
Yeah.
David Feldman's going to look for that guy for celebrity boxing.
Hey, I bet he's already run down his phone number. Are you kidding me? All right, Scott, what's the debate that's trending the most right now at sided.co?
Oh, goodness, that's bad news. That turns political. This is right up Tony's alley.
I
You
don't
ready?
turn political. I despise it. I take
there
cheap
was
shots
a-
at my own local community people who are destroying my friends, family, relatives, and local action.
Well, here, listen to this one. There's an assemblywoman in the state of California. Her name is Lorena Gonzalez. She's from here in San Diego. And Lorena Gonzalez sent out a tweet last week that said, F Elon Musk.
I
and
saw
you can
that.
Fill in the rest of it. And,
Yes.
And so the question is, whose side are you on? Are you on her side or are you on his side? Because on her side, she's just a small-time politician trolling him to make herself look like a hero to the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're on, her side because Elon Musk is just a billionaire crybaby who thinks he's above the law and thinks that he and threatens that he's going to leave California. So right now, the battle between the state assemblywoman and Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, is a big one. Although I will ask you guys this one. When Las Vegas hotels and casinos open up, will you visit in the next 6 months? It's a simple yes or no. Tony?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. You
Yeah,
can't.
me too.
I don't know who said it. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And I'm not afraid to go out. I'm not going to be afraid to go out. I'll go to games. I'll do everything necessary to stay safe, and I'll make sure I'm safe. Just like when I drive, I always look out for the other person. I know I'm going to be safe and pay attention. You worry about the other person. So if you're responsible for your own being and your own driving and your own drinking and not driving when you've been drinking and all the things that responsible people normally do, I'm worried about the other person, not me. And so that's why I'm confident to know that I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to get somebody sick or try to get sick from somebody near me. So, yes, I'm going to go. And you're right, because it's interesting because the Tesla story that you were talking about. So Elon Musk says, I'm going to pull out.
Go
he
to
said,
Texas,
I want to
think,
open. I
right?
want to reopen my plant, building cars, electric cars that everybody says they want to help save the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he wants to reopen because he's got a lot of people whose lives depend on it. So they said, no, we're not going to allow you to open. Then he says, I'm going to threaten and take my plant and move it to Texas or Nevada. And what happens to politicians start sweating bullets because that's 45,000 jobs. You're going to have a guy pull out of your state, and you're going to what? What are you going to do as a local politician? Tell people, hey, look what I did. I got Elon Musk to take $45,000 and leave California like a lot of businesses are doing. Aren't I a hero? She was in a no-win situation. So what did California do, Scott? They say back down. They said, okay, we're going to let you open up again, but we want to make sure everything's safe. Yeah, right. They're going to let him open up again because the guy provides a vital service to that whole part of the state, 45,000 jobs. Ridiculous, man.
Miss Robin, do you see what I've done to Tony Bruno here today? Do you see the setup here to make him get crazy?
It doesn't take much, though. I don't think, I honestly, it doesn't require a lot of setup for that to happen.
What do you mean I'm not crazy.
No, you're great. I have just thrown you a softball and you've just hit a gigantic home run.
I'm not swinging and missing at any pitches on this show, pal.
He loves high heat, Scott.
Yes, I do. We should call this show High Heat.
That's the Mad Dog show.
I know. I love Mad Dog. That's the show he hosts
I'm
on
just telling you
MLB.
one thing. I'm telling you guys one last thing before I get kicked out of here. I'm about to tweet you guys the are you in or out on ABBA debate.
All right.
I think we should find out if people are, because I think a lot more people will tell you they're in than are out.
I disagree. We're going to put that up on a poll, unsided.
Yep.
I will tell you, no man will admit they're in on ABBA anymore. Maybe they were before. Scott, great to talk to you, man. Thanks for popping on again.
Great to be with all of you guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
The great Scott Kaplan. ABBA, in or out, Harry?
Only a real man who is secure enough in their masculinity can say that they are in on ABBA.
I'm in on 70s ABBA, not the Mamma Mia.
All right, we'll decide this later. Stick around.
Don't you knock my ABBA. God. I probably, my mother who saves everything of mine from a kid, I probably still have all my ABBA LPs all the way through their last album in the 80s.
Mamma Mia and Chill. Think about that. That's about it. No, here, Matt in Livermore gets it. You know, you live up in Livermore. You got the wineries up there. It's a beautiful country. He says, Tony Bruno, often imitated, never duplicated, and currently irritated.
I'm very secure in my manhood, but ABBA just sucks.
Rebel Man, our good buddy Robert Morris down there. You know what he says? Roger Brown. I'm Robert Morris. That's a college. Where's Robert Morris College?
Pittsburgh area.
That's in that is great upstate Pennsylvania knowledge. That's Roger Brown, is Rebel Man, 9311, and he says, ABBA.
Get out! Get out!
That's what he tweeted.
Get out!
Or Twitch.
Get out!
Is that how you say it, Twitch?
No, I say he's on the Twitch stream. Not Philip Morris, of course. ABBA, get out, get out. Not Abba Dabba or Yabba Dabba Doo. Abba Zabba.
Oh, I loved Abba Zabbas.
Somebody else from Livermore on here.
Not Speedy Mo.
See that? They just said it. You're in Livermore?
Where's it? Where's the other?
Where's Save?
Is it RG Throne?
Oh, Stephen NorCal or NorCal. What up, Matt in Livermore? What up, yo? What up, Pleasanton? Other than
Josie.
Stephen NorCal says,
We're going to
you
get
said
a
that
phone
one. Right?
call on the 2040. Please pick up the phone after the status bar on the next page changes color. So hold on a second. It's going to call. Okay. Pick it up. Okay. We're good. Did it work? Okay, I think we're protected. So hopefully we're not going to get those calls coming through because those apparently were
Marketing
robocalls.
scammers.
Robocalls. And I just signed it up for No Mo Robo.
No Mo Robo. Loved him with the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're still Robo. SSI? Is it?
What up,
That's not a
Wenti?
Social Security. I don't know. But it's
You know,
still
the
they're
Wenti
all
winery's
robocalls.
right up there. In Livermore. It's right next to the Campo de Bacci in Livermore. It's Wenti. Remember, Robin, the Wenti winery's right there, the grapes?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
W-E-N-T-E.
E-N-T-E.
Decent wine. It's a beautiful winery. We have breaking Bundesliga news, Harry.
Really?
Yes.
What, did somebody test positive for COVID?
Oh, it's written in German, Robin. Can you read this on the air? FC Augsburg.
On Twitter?
Yes, it's a writer that wrote, James Allen.
At
FC Augsburg, which is German, right?
A-U-G.
A-U-G-S-B-U-R-G. The coach. I think he mentions the Fuhrer in here. No, it's Feller. What does that say, Robin?
Heiko Herrlich bedauert seinen Fehler und handelt konsequent.
Now, they're playing Wolfsburg tomorrow on Saturday, Harry. Right? Augsburg and Wolfsburg.
Nice.
And now he cannot play. I mean, he cannot coach because he broke the team's hotel quarantine to buy toothpaste and skin cream.
What?
There's something about consequences and Feller, and let's see, what did he? So this is.
Yeah, he went out to buy toothpaste. So he broke the quarantine.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
As we always have our finger on the pulse of late breaking news and developments around the world, Harry, not just here in the great lower 50, as we like to say. We have breaking Bundesliga news, Harry.
Yeah, this is not a xenophobic show.
No, not at all.
We go around, we span the globe, as they say.
Absolutely.
And luckily, there is news that has actually been written in German. And so we turn to our German correspondent, a woman who's fluent in reading and writing German.
No, reading. I'm not reading. No writing.
All you have to do is translate. Breaking news, Harry, because you know there's a bunch of games this Saturday in the Bundesliga. All 18 teams in Germany will be playing on Saturday, headed up by Bayern Munich, of course. But one match between Augsburg and Wolfsburg will have some situations developing where we have a coach who did not pay attention to quarantine procedures.
Jawohl.
Let's go to your German desk and a woman who likes German beer but prefers the Belgians, Miss Robin.
So trainer Heiko Herrlich is admitted to making an error.
Unforced error, or was it? Did he get a yellow card or a red card?
It's a red card, Tony.
He said, hold on, translating and.
Can you read it in German first? Because I want people to hear Robin's German. Because people think I'm messing around. You think I would have her in here if she wasn't multilingual?
No.
And bilingual and trilingual?
Because this German of mine really comes to you so often.
Well, it's written in German.
Yes. Ich habe einen Fehler gemacht, indem ich das Hotel verlassen habe, auch wenn ich mich sowohl beim Verlassen des Hotels als auch sonst immer an alle Hygienemaßnahmen gehalten habe. Do you want me to keep going?
That's good. You're right there. Wow. It sounds like that, it's like that video, the one with the Hitler movie, where he's like yelling. It's an actual movie and everybody uses it and puts different things when Hitler gets pissed.
Nochmal!
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How many other sports shows not only have a woman on who doesn't know sports, but also have a woman on who can speak multiple languages?
Multiple?
Some would say the men don't know sports on this show either.
That's just the callers and the listeners.
Well, the people on Twitch.
And the people on Twitch and Twitter. They're not supposed to know. They're not the experts, Harry. That's why we're here, not them.
You listen to the experts, Tony.
You listen to me, and you listen to me good.
That's what Peter King says.
Exactly.
You listen to the experts.
You're damn right.
But
so now Robin will trend. Actually, Robin can. You heard it. She's not making. That's not faking it, Harry.
No,
I'm
I know.
sure all of our great German people out there listening, when they're having a pint right now, or they're ready to put some sausages out there and some brats on the grill, some schnitzel, and all the other German crap that people like.
Long story short,
yes.
He apologizes for making a mistake when he left the hotel. He left the hotel even though he was taking all hygiene precautions. He should not have left. And the situation that we are in, and I have to think about other people. And
so he left the hotel.
So what did he do?
He went to the hotel to get toothpaste.
This was his apology.
So
but
toothpaste.
Yeah, he went
toothpaste
and lotion
and face cream.
Face cream. Okay.
You can't get women to do that for you out there in Germany?
So now he's saying that he's going to live with the consequences of his mistake and blah, 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 blah.
What was the line in that game, Harry? Do you think this is going to flip the line here?
No, I don't think so.
You think the players are going to say, hey, you know what? We didn't need you anyway, coach. What are you going to do?
He was a trainer anyway.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
he was
a
trainer?
not the manager.
Ah, screw him then. They don't need him.
Yeah, and then they can
but,
get
you know.
All he'll do is go out when some guy takes a dive. The trainer's the first guy
he
out
goes
there.
out with that little box.
And then they bring out a stretcher, and they're out there for 10 minutes as the clock runs. And listen, I love soccer.
And then the guy goes back in.
And then the guy jumps off the stretcher and goes right back into the game.
With a full sprint.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
A full sprint.
It's amazing.
Right?
I think that soccer players have the best recovery
Oh, it's
ever.
unbelievable.
They could be down for the count,
Yeah.
and boom, they're back.
Yeah. They go down like they were shot.
Oh,
I
my
know.
God.
It's
You know, and it's
unbelievable.
funny. My stepfather was an Ajax youth coach,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually taught the kids how to drop.
I think
effectively.
LeBron
Like,
is
they
teaching
did-
young high school kids now here how to do it the same with the NBA way.
Is that what he does at his camp?
I think LeBron has a flopping camp.
Okay.
They had like acting classes. Oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what? I can't wait to watch it Saturday.
Me neither. I
You know
love
what I
it,
mean?
man. I love it.
Take all the dives you
Now,
want.
will they have to have piped-in whistling when somebody takes a dive and the other team's fans start whistling? Because that's what they do. They whistle when somebody screws up or somebody does something wrong or takes a dive.
Right. I don't know, man. But you saw, we had Joe Buck on last week.
Yep.
Joe Buck is in the news now this week for talking about piping in
Crowd
noise.
He said that when he was on with us.
Right, but
He
now
said
it's getting big news.
Yeah, he was on with us, and he
Yeah.
said they may have to pump in
Yeah.
crowd. I told you that Joe Girardi, the new Phillies manager,
Mm-hmm.
says they have to pipe in crowd noise so you don't hear everybody in the dugout
Well, yeah.
during baseball games.
I mean, they talk about the strategy. They're talking to the players. You can't have the other team hear that, right?
Exactly. The trash can noise will really be
that's
loud
true.
in Houston.
Well,
I
they
mean, you
could
won't
just
even have to do it. You'll just have to knock on wood if you hear them.
Knock on wood if you're with it. All right?
That's
they
all
can
the
just
coach will
pipe
do.
the white noise that they do outside of.
Now, why does it have to be white noise, Robin?
Yeah,
Is this,
why
are you
does it have to
racist?
be racial?
Okay,
Jesus.
gray noise. They can pipe in gray noise.
There'd
What
be
they
gray
do-
water. Could be gray water, but that's in the Oakland A's dugout out there in Oakland. You know, they had the gray water in there.
Oh,
The
yeah.
toilet would flush.
Tony
and
doesn't do
place is a
therapy,
dump.
but if you've ever been to a therapist's office and you're waiting in the waiting room and you're waiting, somebody else is inside the office, they usually have like this gray noise machine,
Yes.
so that you can't hear
the
what's
drilling
being-
and stuff.
No, I'm not drilling.
Oh, I was thinking of the
Dentist.
movie
I'm
again.
talking
You know who
about
the
therapy.
dentist was in Little Shop of Horrors, right, Howard?
I do not.
Steve Martin.
Steve, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
brilliant. One of the greatest scenes ever, where he's like this really, really deranged dentist, and people who
He's
go
a
to him.
sadist.
He's
Oh,
a sadist,
okay.
and people who go there want him to
I'll
drill.
be
and,
a dentist.
and you know who makes a cameo and wants to get drilled and real hard is nuts.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is waiting for
And
Steve
he's
Martin.
a massive. What's the guy that likes pain?
He's a masochist.
Masochist. Okay.
And he's brilliant. Steve Martin, and he plays an Elvis impersonator. I mean, it's way out there. And you know who directed the movie Little Shop of Horrors, Harry?
Was it Rick Moranis?
No, he was the star. And I said to Robin, you know who Rick Moranis reminds me of?
No, I
The
did not.
Daily Hombre himself.
Oh.
You watch Little Shop of Horrors, and you watch Rick Moranis. This is back in 1986.
Michael Bradley.
Michael Bradley. I'm telling you right now, Michael Bradley
I
and
could see
Rick
that.
Moranis are the same guy.
Yeah, I could see
Except
that.
I don't
the
think.
nerdy Rick Moranis. In the
Yeah,
show,
that's what he
yeah.
was back then in Little Shop of Horrors. Joe C., you saw the movie, right? Now you know Michael Bradley. Did you not get a Michael Bradley vibe from Rick Moranis in Little Shop of Horrors?
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. I make those kinds of observations. You know, it's good stuff right there. It's a funny movie, and the songs are good. And the poll is up, by the way, on Sided.
Yeah.
And the question is, Harry, I want people to vote on this because we don't do a lot of polls. Every once in a while, we dabble with polls.
I'm going to retweet this right now.
Retweet it. I can't find it now because it's already scrolling down on Twitter.
You're copied in on it, though.
I know I am,
Yeah.
but I want to read the poll question now in the final moments of the program so people can vote early and vote often.
You got to go to sided.co.
Exactly.
Yes, sided.co, and Scott Kaplan is the one who actually posted it, so it's going to be under his handle.
Did you find the question? though,
Yeah.
Rob?
Are you in or out on ABBA? Miss Robin is in. Tony Bruno is out.
Yes.
Harry Mays out. And then
Not
it's
that I
just
hate
in now.
ABBA. It's ABBA jumped the shark. And I loved ABBA in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah. Especially
But
that
then they
blonde.
overdid it. They overdid it. And when I go to IKEA, I may sing a little. I think of ABBA when I'm walking through an IKEA store. But too much. They just pounded ABBA and the Mamma Mia thing.
Did you know that
When
there
you
was
eat
an ABBA
Swedish
movie?
meatballs, you think
Yeah,
of
I love
ABBA.
Swedish meat.
What's
I go
that?
in ABBA, I always get Swedish meatballs.
Did you know that there was an ABBA movie aside, like way separate
No.
from Mamma Mia?
I did not know that.
Yes, there was an ABBA movie. It's called ABBA, the movie.
Wow.
Jeez.
Now, unlike
How
Spaceballs,
long did it take him to think up that title?
Spaceballs, the movie, which I think was better than ABBA, the movie. When James Bond was in the ABBA movie, the one dude who played James Bond, Who was in the ABBA movies? The James Bond guy.
With Dalton, Timothy Dalton.
No, the other guy who was really good.
What?
The guy who plays James Bond is in all these Mamma Mia movies.
The good-looking. He was also
Daniel Craig?
No, Remington Steele.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Thank you. Pierce Brosnan. When I saw him in the Mamma Mia movies, I was out. I wouldn't even watch any more of his Bond movies. And I love Bond movies.
Jeez.
He lost me at ABBA. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody. Another fun show today. Chris Therien, Pat McAfee, Scott Kaplan, and all the great callers
Nick
and listeners.
Cale.
And Nick Cale made
How
a
about
cameo.
that?
Beautiful. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the big Friday free-for-all. There may be alcohol, and there may be lots of alcohol, but we'll be safe.
Thanks to Dean.
And you be safe, too, out there. Don't drink and drive, don't text and drive, and God bless America. Greatest country on earth.
Oops. What just happened? Why does it do this?
Yeah, I know, but you got to shake it off. You know how we do this.
It's good radio.
Because when there's a disaster on this show.
Okay, everybody. You heard it. We're out. We're going to be here tomorrow. Bring BYOB and join us on a Red Wine Friday.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays. Did you miss any of the show? Subscribe and download the audio available on all your favorite podcast apps such as iTunes, Spreaker, etc. Hope to see you back here live Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 211 and Twitch.tv.